It's been a long, hard journey. The road to the premiership is paved with pain, disappointment, and of course, exultation. But the real glory is yet to come. There can only be one victor, one glorious champion who will hold the trophy high before passionate, adoring, revering fans. But there is still one more mountain to climb to glory. Central District has been here before. For the last 4 years, the Bulldogs have fought for the trophy in the ultimate contest. Premiers in 2000, 2001 and 2003, expectations are high and the pressure is intense.
You know what the success brings and it makes you hungry for it.
The only two teams to beat Roy Laird's boys in 2004 were Sturt and the Eagles. Fitting that they should be the teams that fought it out last week for the chance to challenge the Dogs today. Sturt fought valiantly, but the Eagles had more passion, more belief, more hunger, just as Ron Fuller had prophesied.
They never give in. They'll go to the wire. They just won't stop.
They'll need all that passion and more today. 11 years ago, they found it.
For Woodville and for West Torrens, now we're one club.
In 2004, the battle lines are drawn. Ron Fuller and Roy Laird can do no more. Now it's down to 42 Warriors in one final assault. The 2004 SANFL Grand Final, Central District against the Eagles.
It is the biggest stage in SANFL football. Football Park on the first Sunday in October. It's grand final day. The Doggies have been there before. They're on an 8-game winning streak this season and their last loss was in round 14 to the Eagles. So it's all set up for this afternoon's decider as we just look around at all the colour of grand final day at Football Park, the headquarters of the SANFL. And joining me this afternoon in commentary in the experts chair, Tim Geneva. Welcome, and it should be just a fantastic match.
Should be brilliant, shouldn't it, Neil? Both teams, well, they've got rights to claim favouritism for this grand final. It's going to be a beauty for mine.
Yes, looking forward to the coaches, of course. Ron Fuller looking for a breakthrough, having lost the 2001 grand final as coach to the Dogs. And, of course, Roy Laird at the other end of the spectrum. He's looking at how his team is going to handle the break that they've had since the second semi-final.
Oh, look, we've been fortunate to have learnt, I guess. We've had similar type build-ups over recent years with some buys thrown in, which has been pointed out. I think we've learned from errors of the past in some ways, and that we've tried to keep a real competitive edge on the boys by doing a fair bit of competitive work and a fair block of tough running along the way. So, yeah, it's comparable in some ways, but every year's a different year. We've got new faces in our group, as with Ron's group, and we just put your plans in place and look to perform your best on the day.
We've been a very consistent club without being the premier club. So I guess that does lead to some frustration. And, we take that on board as coaches and players. We understand that, and our expectations aren't any less than theirs. But, you put things in perspective. We believe that we've got a side that can win a premiership. So if we do everything right and play to our optimum levels, it'll happen. So those things will take care of themselves.
Well, time to visit the rooms now and just find out some of the last-minute news. And we're going to be joined by the boys down there. Andrew Rogers, a 242-game veteran of the Eagles, is having a look at that room. And first up, Mark Soderstrom, who's played for 3 clubs in the SANFL, none of which are actually taking part this afternoon, Soders.
Yes, that's right, Neil. I'm certainly sitting on the fence here between both sides. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, there is one big change to the Central side that defeated the Eagles in the second semi-final. 17-year-old Shannon Hearn comes into the team. Now, he's a talented sportsman. He's also a contract holder with the South Australian Redbacks, so no doubt he's going to have a big career in both football and or cricket, whatever he decides. He's playing in today's grand final. He comes in as a backup key defender. Brad Curry a little bit sore in the hamstring, so if he goes down, Hearn will certainly fill that void. The unlucky player not to get picked today, Adam Swatala, after playing every game for the season. We'll head over to Andrew Rogers. He's got all the news from the Eagles camp.
Yes, thank you, Mark, and good afternoon, everyone. Look, there's two changes for the Eagles. The unlucky Ryan Potter misses out with a shoulder injury, and former Fremantle docker Luke Sawyer comes into the side at his expense. And Sam Philippo's a feel-good story. Played in the Eagles' first and only premiership in 1993, 11 years ago. Recovers from a hip flexor, gets his spot in the side today.
Thanks for that, boys. We look through Central's finals journey. They started in the second semi-final with just a 2-point victory. They were leading by 25 points at three-quarter time, and Woodville West Torrens kicked 6 straight to 2-1 in the final quarter to get within 2 points. And in fact, that was the only time in the season Centrals had beaten the Eagles. Well, for the Eagles, different story. They came through the qualifying final by 35 points over Sturt. They kicked 6-3 to 1-3 in the fourth quarter. And then in the preliminary final, they came up against Sturt again and were 55 points the better. They were leading by 20 points at half-time, kicked 10 goals, 8 to 6-3 in the second half to win quite comfortably, and very much match hardened, and in many ways the mascot. Everybody in this ground looking forward to what should be a fantastic encounter this afternoon, Tim.
Well, he looks fired up, and I reckon the Eagles will be too, Neil. I just got a good feeling that their finals hardened, as you mentioned, and they've had 4 tough finals, or this will be the 4th, and I've just got a feeling that they'll be able to tough this game out. Centrals, on the other hand, have got the belief factor, the belief that they've been here, done that, and that they can win on the big day.
As we watch Gavin Colville, number 23, the redhead there, leading out his Eagles side, and a different look for them. They've got their chain strip, if you like, which they wear, I think, against about 4 or 5 clubs in the SANFL, so it's almost their normal strip.
Yeah, I don't think they'll mind what strip they're wearing if they can hold the Premiership Cup up, but Gavin Colville, great performance this year after coming back from the knee reconstruction, and he's so important to them as a player, isn't he, and as a leader. And I really believe that the Eagles have got an advantage in ruck. They did, for mine, take advantage of that in the second semi. Both Lindsay and O'Hara have been superb all year as a combination. They have to dominate that area because the midfield is where they've been touched up in years gone by the Central Districts Footy Club, because we all know how good that midfield of Centrals is.
Well, Woodville, West Torrens. Woodville, same age as Central District, 40 years old, and West Torrens, of course, considerably older. The Combine formed in 1991. And for the Doggies, they started off in league football in 1964. This is 40 years of league football for them. And as you see there, congratulations on their banner for 2 of their players. And they consider themselves now very much the king of clubs. This is their 7th grand final in the past 10 seasons.
Well, you're right, and let's face it, they are a side that has really put together a fantastic structure, and it all started with Alan Stewart when he took over there and wanted to build the culture of the club completely different to what it was, and he did a marvellous job. And then, you know, Jonas took it over, and then Clarkson, and you know, the success just kept rolling. And fantastic performance finished off by Roy Laird now.
Yes, and speaking of highlights and the second semi-final, we're going to have a look at those right now.
Lindsay knocked it down. Shirley, good tackle by the Magarey medalist in Thomas. Taken by Mackenzie. Stokes booted 7 last week. He's got another one.
Hoping for a mark. Philippo's there. Philippo comes off their hands. Oh, now Stokes again.
Slade. Normally good by Butchell. Good looking kick. Roars it round. The Dogs get their second. Steinberner goes in long. Looking for Healy. Healy, oh, one-hander. No, the 251s go at it. Healy's kick off the ground. Shell will go off the ground for a goal.
Well, they've been at it, these sides. Effectively, they've been at it for a few seasons. Gowans just trying to milk the free kick. Ellis will fly, ball to ground, coming through Rugolo. Nicely done. Straightens, waits, breaks a tackle. Inside 50, Rugolo has kicked a goal.
He's got Copper if he wants to use him. He'll kick further forward. He's got some pace. Shell! Oh, lace out. Thanks very much. Shell roars it back.
Stokes hardly sighted since quarter time. Keeps it wide to Shirley. The 48 near to goal. They need a goal, and Shirley's done it. Now takes it to the line. Skilly gets the kick back inside. McKenzie on the step. Finishes the job for Centrals.
The target's Passador again. Loose ball, Colville, round the body. It's high, it's long, it is break. It falls to Hopwood. He gets around, handball over the top, sets up Cowan. Cowan will kick a goal. Siren! The Bulldogs are into another grand final in an epic at Football Park.
Geez, you'd love to see a game like that this afternoon, although I suppose if you're a fan of either side, you'd like it a lot easier in order to capture this trophy, which you've held aloft on 7 occasions.
Yeah, fantastic, Neil, and never easy. Never has it ever been easy to win this thing here. It's one of the great cups that you'll find in any competition. The Thomas Seymour Hill Trophy, an absolute gem, and tastes very sweet when you drink out of it.
Have our two captains, Gavin Colville from the Eagles, also Daniel Healy from Central Districts here. Conditions absolutely fantastic at the moment. The breeze is, well, almost non-existent, not a cloud in the sky. See Brian just about to toss the coin. Well, he's dropped the coin. Call has been made by Daniel Healy, and Central Districts will be kicking to the main scoreboard end.
And just about ready for the national anthem with Sally Polyronis to do the honours for us, and the crowd building all the time to on their feet now, at least in the lead up as Sally takes her position on the ground, and will be crossing down in a moment for the national anthem. The Eagles and Doggies lined up and ready, and here we go.
Abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strength, then let us sing, advance Australia fair. There's nothing quite like that moment, I guess. Tim, as a player, you'd know it very well. Just after the siren's gone, just after the anthem has been sung, and everybody's set for a start.
Well, the waiting's the killing thing, and once that's happened, you can get into it. We have a look at the Central Districts lineup, and it's lost nothing. I mean, Switala, that's a tragic story for him, but Hearn comes in for one of the great opportunities to play in a premiership. It is a very good lineup. It really does rely heavily upon its midfield dominating.
And across to the Eagles, well, they've had their upsets as well, but you would think they're finely balanced as well. They've both sides as many losses in terms of personnel.
They've really improved themselves, though. You know, we've seen Stokes stand up, Rugolo improve. You know, O'Hara's had a great year. But I just really believe that Freeborn is the X factor for the Eagles. I've just got a feeling that he might introduce himself to the Gowans brothers, and they might be at it all day long.
Freeborn, Scott Freeborn, playing in 48 games for Carlton, and then playing his first game of league football back at Oval Avenue just last weekend in the preliminary final.
He really is a hard nut. He really goes hard at the football, and he can do all the rough stuff as well. So he's a player that I believe that could take the focus away from a couple of Centrals players, in which maybe they'll be hoping for, because the rest of the blokes can get on with getting the footy.
And named on the interchange, I think it was, so obviously you expect him to start on the ground.
Well, I would expect so, and you know, like I said, the Centrals boys, they got a great defence. They've been fantastic in that back six all year. They work it out well between each other. They've got a McGarry medalist amongst them down there, but Heath Hopwood, he's always the key for mine, and depending on his day, depends on that Centrals defence and how it goes. You can see him rallying the troops there and telling them what they've got to do today to win a premiership.
30-plus touches for Heath Hopwood in the second semi-final was a key to their performance on that particular day.
Yep, that's him, and that's him at his best, and this back six really rely on him dictating the terms. But in the midfield, you know, school has to make a contest. They have to make sure that they got first look at the ball, and the Gowans brothers must be hard at it very early on.
Well, Ian Mogridge, our statistician, at his 19th grand final this afternoon. He'll be doing all the honours with the stats. And Michael Maney is set and in position to call his third SANFL grand final. Michael.
Thank you very much, Neil Cross. A long way to go to catch Ian Mogridge. Don't know that I'll get there, Ian, somehow. Who knows? What a game we've lined up for you today. Craig Doddridge, Tim Pfeiffer, and Richard Williams, the umpires. The 2004 SANFL Grand Final. 4 players in the Eagles lineup that have played all games, and there's a bit of push and shove. Mark Passador and Stewie Cochran. Cochran assigned to Passador, about to get going. Treeby and Gowans having a crack on the wing. Underway in the 2004 SANFL Grand Final. Hopwood got it from Gowans. Doggies go into attack. Cowan couldn't get there. Ball's trapped underneath there. Cochran just got a quick kick out of the pack. Pace, plenty of pace on. In goes Pedlar. Reacquaints himself with Chris Gowans, I think it was in there. And we all know the history of that a couple of weeks ago with Joey Pedlar beating a misconduct charge. There's Matty Slade. Plenty of action on. Bello can't get through. James Gowans couldn't take it cleanly. Shirley got it away to Wise. Just lopes out of half-back. Looks for Stokes, thumped away by Thomas. Terrific matchup. Rugelo's got it. Just kicks to half-forward to some open space. Curry, that'll test the hamstring out. It's a bit dodgy. Ellis wheeled around on the left boot. Good kick. Passador takes the mark in front of Cochran. One up to Passador against Cochran. Passador's kick just looking and couldn't find his target in Filippo. Filippo's got it now around the body. Which way will it go? It's hit the post, I think, or just away to the right-hand side. First score of the grand final to Sam Filippo, who didn't play the last time the teams met.
You see that just hitting the inside of the post, but what a fantastic start. Lightning quick, both ends of the ground. Players hitting in very hard and using the ball pretty well.
Bello, just down the line. They play on. Bello again on his left foot. Inside he's got Cochran, long and direct, down towards Shell. And Bock had the better of him, brought the ball to ground. Now Bock receives a handball from Fiachi. The kick was loose. Richie Cochran with the ball. Looks back inside 50 on the lead. Hopwood. Well, he's down from half-back. An early run at the ball from Heath Hopwood. He was best and fairest in their premiership years of 2000 and 2001, Heath Hopwood. Steadies from 45 metres. We're having a look at the angle. He has not kicked a goal for the Dogs this season. And he won't this time. It won't quite make it. Over for the minor score and scores a level. Just gone 2 minutes in the grand final.
It's a good sign, though, for Centrals. Running down Heath Hopwood. Having a shot at goal. That's what you want from your defenders. Lindsay on the last line there, making sure it's a rush behind. That's good.
Williams with the duty of kicking out. Looks for Bock in front. Knocked away by Cowan. Bello, quick hand, got it to Healy. He hasn't played for a while. He's lost no touch. Daniel Healy. The Doggies get the first of the 2004 grand final. Their skipper Daniel Healy threading one through. What a kick by Healy. Lost no touch. That's experienced him.
Oh, brilliant. Great hands here by Bello in the pack situation. Out to the natural left footer. The skipper gets the first goal. That's the way to set the scene. What an opening 3 minutes. It's been absolutely lightning pace. And the Eagles will want to just keep at it, just keep persisting.
Plenty going on off the ball. Eagles come out of the middle through Colville, belts it long, looking for Filippo at the front. Thomas, the Magarey medalist, taking a strong mark. Springs it this side to Schooler. That was the aim. It got to Steinberner. He's quick. Steinberner takes off, shakes the tackle on the left foot. Wide, very wide, too wide. Treby dropped what he should have taken, perhaps. It was Williams, in fact. Here's Bock going backwards and eventually over the line and called for holding the ball. Daniel Shell to take the free kick.
I can't agree with that one. I think Shell made the tackle sure, but he was right on the edge of the line anyway, so.
Shell drives it up and Cowan takes the mark. In front of Pedler, and Chris Gowans comes in to let Pedler know just what happened.
It's a good start by Centrals. They're moving the ball pretty well, getting it inside that forward 50. Good target. Cowan takes a strong grab in this pack. The Eagles have just got to weather this storm because Centrals are going to be pretty primed up. I mean, let's face it, they've had a good break. They've just got to weather this storm and just stay in touch so that they can be a part of it later on.
And in the second semi, 5 possessions and 3 marks for Cowan. He's kicked 23 goals this season. And he lays back on that. It starts to go right, but not far enough. Stays in for a goal. The Doggies have a couple.
That's a very good kick at goal, Luke Cowan. You know he'll compete all the time. He'll smash in all the time as hard as he can. Just look at that. He's nearly out here. Comes back. I suppose the umpire said, hey, you've had prior opportunity perhaps, but God, it's close to the line, wasn't it? I think it was in throw in for mine, but it's caused a goal. But you can't let umpiring decisions worry you. You've got to keep getting hold of the football and keep using it. Centrals are doing that at the moment beautifully.
4 entries inside 50 to the Dogs, 2 to the Eagles. Doggies out of the centre again. Gowans inside the 50. Box got to really go. Shell's on his tack. Good tackle by Shell. And they claim out of bounds deliberately. Umpire 5% throw it in. I tell you what, you'd be game to give that out of bounds deliberately.
You see, I'd have paid that. I'd have paid that deliberate, and I will let the other one go. So, 1 for 1.
Hot pace on in the grand final. Lindsay, no one in position for Lindsay to knock it down to, so he thumped it 25, 30 metres out of bounds.
That's okay. Got some ground, but he'd like to try and work it out here in a stoppage and try and get hold of the footy.
Players don't like to take that ball out of the ruck these days, and that's what he could have done, but it's risky business. This time the tap down by Lindsay, looking for Colville. Bellows just held on to him. Ball slipped out, looking for James Gowans. Wise has had a couple of touches. That'll do his confidence well. He's only played a couple of games. Merriman has played just about every game for the Eagles. Ball knocked away from Ellis. Schooler, good play. Hay, magnificent defender, spreads it to this side of the ground. The kick wasn't pinpoint, was looking for Thomas. Thomas gave Steinberner a brilliant shepherd. Steinberner through the centre, got to get around Stokes, did okay. James Gowans loads up, wobbly old kick inside 50. Cowan at the back. Sikalala, cool, calm, caught, got it to Colville. He'll be nabbed. Did he drop it? Umpire said push in the back.
Oh, he changed his mind.
And a free kick will go to Gavin Colville.
I'll tell you, he was just about to play on the ball here, but then decided it might have been in the back.
Poor kick. Colville goes to the far side of the ground. It'll be a free kick or mark to Arnott. Simon Arnott quickly off to Bello. The left footer approaches 50, drives it long, and Cowan again from the side.
He's on.
Well, that is as good a contested mark as you'll see. He absolutely threw himself at that, hit the ball at 100 kilometres an hour and took the mark. It was fantastic football and great footy on the other side. Arnott quickly moved it on. Bello thumped it into the square. Should finish.
3 games this season against Woodville West Torrens. The Dogs have won the opening term on each occasion, and they've made a brilliant start here. Cowan with his second.
They've opened up absolutely brilliantly. They're getting their hands on the footy. The midfield is firing up. Look at the way he smashes into this. That is a great grab. He's giving him a lot of trouble at the moment. He could do that. I love the way he commits himself to the ball. But you know, the likes of Arnott and the Gowans boys and Bello, if they get hold of too much football, they'll be pumping it inside 50 that often. The goals are definitely going to result.
This would be the biggest worry Ron Fuller had in the match. The way they would start, they've started slowly, the Eagles. Although they got the first behind, they now trail. All in the centre of the ground. Free kick goes against them. Goes against Sikalella. And it will go to Marco Bello. All doggies in the first term. They go inside 50 again for the 7th time. Bott couldn't take the mark. Arnott was there. James Gowans. He's got to beat 2 tacklers. And he's been pinged for holding the footy. Merriman.
They're hot on the ball, aren't they?
They are hot on it today. They just need to run with it all day. Merriman's kick. Cochrane over the back. Colville dishes out a pretty hefty hip and shoulder to Heath Hopwood. It'll take a bit more than that to hurt Heath Hopwood, you'd think.
Beautifully done.
19 plays 1 in the grand final of 2004. Centrals have burst out of the box. Eagles need to respond, and they need to respond now. They just haven't been able to get a loose player. They haven't had any system yet. The doggies have really moved the ball forward, and that big marking target of Cowan's been terrific. Bello squeezed the kick out of the pack, and it rolls out of bounds.
Centrals are getting all the first hand on footy around the clearances, which is an excellent effort. They're roving to Lindsay. Got to be alert to that.
Schooler will come from behind Lindsay this time. Now gets to the front. Lindsay with the beautiful tap to Wise. Merriman, Sikalella, he's gone into the middle. He started in defence. Clever, round the corner, found his captain. No, he didn't. Ball punched away. Richard Cochrane at the front. Off to Hay. He's a big kick off his left foot. He's a perfect kick off his left foot.
Well, that is sensational football. You just saw Sikalella dodge a couple of players, move it into the centre. His ball just had a little bit too much air in it. Hay comes thumping through. He spoilt the ball, followed it up, got the handball back, and kicks a fantastic goal. We saw Hopwood have a shot from earlier on in the game. Off the half-back flank, he's running down there. You've got Hay from defence running down. It's a great sign for the Central District Football Club when you're doing that.
Timmy, a change. Paul Schooler's come off the ground. He's got a cut above the right eye there and the blood streaming down his face, down the neck. So he's gone down the rooms to be patched up. Jason McKenzie into the ruck for the Bullies for the first time today.
Another change down there too, Andrew. Looks like an Eagles player coming to the boundary.
Yes, Merriman's coming off, just waiting to see what's actually wrong with him. Coming off, the Eagles are just making their mind up. It just looks like young gun David Westbrook's actually going to come. It is a cut over Andrew Merriman's left eye.
Bit of blood flowing in the grand final. Happens every year. It will continue to happen in our great game of Australian rules. There's Andrew Merriman just getting tidied up. Not a lot to do there for the medical staff. 24 points the difference. Dogs are out to a flyer. Colville, a fumble. They beset upon. And umpire Godridge coming in very quickly.
This is a fair to contested character for the Eagles. They are just going to have to bore in all day long to try and get this margin back.
Perfect conditions at Football Park for this grand final. It hasn't been too spiteful, and there's a bit of patchwork still going on. Luke Toyer and Scott Freeborn, a couple of experienced campaigners, still yet to hit the ground. Umpire will call for another ball up. Just the timing to bring Freeborn into the game, I suppose, is what Ronnie Fuller's tossing up at the moment. When you're 4 goals down, he may be thinking about it. Stokes caught too high. Chris Gowans, the offender. For a rare charge forward in the first term. Stokes goes long. Phillippo's in a bit of space. And he takes the mark in front of Cochrane. And Sam Phillippo, who missed last week, and he booted 5 against the Doggies earlier this year in round 14, 5 straight.
Michael, that was the first time they got a centre clearance down to one of their men who got first hands on the footy in Stokes, got taken high. He darted off, quickly got the ball inside 50. Phillippo takes a mark. That's a good sign if they can keep that up time and time again.
The reverse angle here, Filippo going for his 250th career goal in this AFL. And he has just not missed it, I think. Doesn't miss many, Sam, but this is a grand final. They needed a good pointer there, Tim, really to get them half back on track.
Oh, absolutely needed the settling goal, and that was the one they needed.
Filippo with both the Eagles' scores so far, both minor scores in between his first and second score. The Eagles adding 4 goals, 1. Gowans and Arnott combining. Arnott just putting the ball into space. Hay showed good pace. While side him was Mackenzie, overran it. Cicolella vision wasn't that good. Well, he got it out in front of Rugolo at least. Arnott comes to him, hand pass to Stokes. Stokes took his time, picked out Ellis. And Ellis taken to ground by Curry. Play on. Here's Paul Thomas again. Inboard with the hand pass. Cochrane, then on to Curry. Slade stepped around Stokes easily. Slade looks up, decides to go short. Was met late. It'll be a free kick down the ground. Mackenzie's allowed to play on. Down the outer he goes. Inside half forward with the kick. Westbrook, I think it might have been, who got a boot to it. And the Eagles try and clean up at the back. They're sloppy at the moment. And just at the moment, everything's being punished. Brilliant hand pass from Bello. Off to Shell and then to Healy. And Healy into open goal. It's that easy for the Dogs.
That's the second to Healy, the skipper. They're out to 5 goals. 5-1-31 now. Poor old Eagles only got 2 points, so they needed the goal down the other end. It didn't happen. And look at this. You'll see a scoop up here. Good hands. Bello got it up to Shell. Shell had an open goal, but he was unselfish. Put it out to the top of the square where Healy was. Got through that too easily, but it was going to be a goal anyway. But I'll tell you what, this is too big a margin. They've just got to be able to hold tight.
Marco Bello, 7 possessions already.
Has been outstanding in the centre of the ground, Marco Bello. Stokes tries hard. Hopwood barges through. Thomas went without it. Tough in the clinches there. Chris Gowans tries to burst away. They're fired up. The Dogs are out of the blocks. It's been terrific.
Michael, the breeze has just picked up a little bit at ground level here since the start of the game. It is favouring the Bulldogs, but I can guarantee you it's not a 5-goal breeze.
Bouncing ball. Westbrook to the wing. Colville and Thomas. Thomas did okay. Just knocked it out of bounds. Got a hand on it. Luke Toyer. Looks like he's warming up down there. Matty Stokes about to take a rest. Andrew Rogers.
Yeah, exactly right, Michael. Matty Stokes worked hard in the first 16 minutes. Experienced Luke Toyer to bring some real grunt to this midfield.
O'Hara down to Fiachi. And during the season, the ruckmen have been outstanding for the Eagles. Lindsay and O'Hara, 651 knockouts. Mackenzie and Scola, 315. But the Dogs are really sharking everything at the moment. Slade can't get through. How do you see those figures, really? I suppose they had an armchair ride, the Eagles, on ballers this year, but the Dogs haven't required it. They've been outstanding in midfield.
Well, like I said in the early portion of this quarter, it's been roving to Lindsay. They're just making sure they know where he's tapping and they're going again. This time O'Hara got it okay to Fiachi.
High kick. Thomas floated across the front. Colville tried to knock it. Fiachi in again. Just seems that tackling of the Doggies has switched on. They're just blocking everything at the minute.
Now, Michael, you mentioned Scott Freeborn and how to use him. I wouldn't go as far as to say as use him like Damien Hardwick was used for the Power. First 10 minutes of a quarter. Get in there, rough it up, come off.
Well, Craig Doddridge was late there, but there was a definite throw from James Gowans to his brother Chris, and Toyer to take the free kick. They've got a player in the middle. They've got a couple of players in the middle, but he goes longer than that. Goes in the direction of Ellis. Ball thumped the ground. Healy gave it away. Shirley on the ground there, as was Gowans, and they crowd in. And Richard Williams will come in and call for the ball. SANFL football, the ball will be tossed up. O'Hara got the better of it. Williams taken to ground. Dogs with players forward of the ball. Comes to Steinberner, one of those players. Then Gowans quickly releases it wide to Healy. He's on his left foot. He can go long. Cowan's on the lead, and that's the direction he goes. Cowan slips. His opponent, Pedler, able to take the ball to the line.
Well, nothing seems to be going right for the Eagles at this stage. And the Dogs are just persisting and fairly hard at it when it comes around those stoppages. And they're doing really, really well.
O'Hara, virtually unopposed at the moment. In fact, he was unopposed. Knocked it to Treby. Quick hands. Too quick for McKenzie. I don't think he's touched the ball. Westbrook knocked it forward. Got one high. Richie Cochran over the ball. And Cochran is taken away and will get a free kick. Umpire Pfeiffer coming in and awarding it. Cochran chasing his third premiership victory in a row. Played last year and then the year before in the reserves grand final. Ball to ground inside forward 50. Pedler off the right foot wide. Looking for Ellis. He won't stay in. And 29 points the margin, just about to enter into time on. And a couple of changes as we look at Cowan coming over the back, down to the boys on the boundary.
Daniel Healy, the skipper, has come off for a breather. He's missed a lot of football this year with hamstrings. He's kicked 2 goals early. He's done his job for this quarter. Elijah Ware is going to come on and bring some pace to the forward line of the Bullies.
Ball back in, McKenzie got it out to Slade, quick hands, Chris Gowan's duck, got away with it, Slade, then Bello into space, long, looking for Cowan again, Pedler has the better of him. Nice hands from Pedler, he'll want to swing it this way, but there's nobody in space. He goes in shorter to McKenzie. McKenzie quickly around the corner, Sikalella, at centre half back, wants to play on. Run his players out of position a little bit then. He went wide looking for Passadoy. He'll get to him eventually. Colville flanking him. Inside with the kick that went out. Yes, just wasn't the best effort. He wanted to hook it back in and it ended up with Stuart Cochran. So Stuart Cochran for the Dogs. They'll load up again. We're in time on. Opening quarter of the grand final.
Cochran goes short and finds Buckets McKenzie at half back. Has been good for them this year. A kick to a pack. Westbrook flew from the back. Arnott and Wise. Wise dives it over the line. Boundary throw in. 31 plays 2 in the 2004 grand final. There's Paul Lindsay taking a rest. How important will he be today for the Eagles? McKenzie backhands it. Westbrook came through. He's been great for them this year. Long kick. Just to a pack situation, rowed by Toya. We know he's good front and square, can't get through. Umpire Williams says ball it up.
Well, Michael, don't like to reminisce, but you can persist in a game like this. 20-minute mark, 29 points down. You just got to keep at it because it's a long day. It's a marathon of grand final, and you just keep persisting. You never know what can happen.
Well, Filippo hasn't given up the ghost. Good tackle. They dive in on the football. James Gowans screaming to the umpire, so too Sam Filippo. Gavin Colville has been okay, just hasn't really been able to get through some clear possessions in this first quarter. McKenzie knocked it down, looking for James Gowans. Good enough to get it back to Hopwood. This Dogs defence is holding up extremely well. Williams, tackled by Ware. The momentum pushed him forward, no free kick. Out the back, Arnott. It's the handball, just sold his teammate Gowans into trouble. Williams back in. Terrific tackling again by the Dogs. Ball jars free. Boundary throw in. That time, Sibinala, the man dishing out the punishment.
It's been great in close, hasn't it? Tackling's been superb by the Dogs, and they're getting first hands on the footy. They've been a lot cleaner with their skills too. Very one grab.
Ball down to ground. Toward that boundary line again. Dogs wouldn't mind this too much. In goes Gowans, flicks out the back, Stewie Cochran, got it to Slade, who just knocked it over the top to the run of Bello. Bello's been very good with his hands so far. Ware just got it back, kick inboard, finds Hay. Hay held up by Rugolo. We saw Hay kick a lovely running goal a few moments ago. We know he's punishing on his left boot. He's got Cochran, can't hold on to the mark. Ball hits the deck. Treby haven't caught him too much. Here's McKenzie, only possession number 2 or 3. Hacks it into the middle. Luckily, Bock was there in the centre of the ground. And it's a 25-metre penalty against Stuart Cochran.
Well, they've been doing okay, though, Centrals, holding the Eagles players up on the mark. That hasn't been a bad thing.
We're in red time at the moment. 23 gone in the first term. Eagles yet to kick a goal. Who would have thought it? They've been slow starters. But this has been very slow for them in the grand final. Filippo on a very long lead. Bock doesn't quite know what to do. and he'll just end up just punching it long. Just do a 2-on-1 situation. Ellis can't take the mark. We know he's good in this situation, Ellis. It's the handball back inboard to nobody at all. Curry, good enough to get it. To Hay, back to McKenzie, who's got a problem. And he's pinged for holding the ball. Couldn't get through. And Sam Filippo has been terrific with his defensive work inside forward 50 for the Eagles.
Eagles have to do this. They had to put pressure on in their forward 50. It was good work in the end by Sam Filippo, just persisted with the tackle and rewards himself with a shot at goal.
Sam Filippo has had one shot already, but it's a nightmare pocket in there. The kick at goal. We know he's a sharpshooter. He's just given himself a bit of room. Let's have a look at the kick. I think he's threaded it. That is one of the best goals you'll see from Sam Filippo.
It was a superb goal, wasn't it? Absolutely no daylight. Our camera's right behind there. And captured beautifully. The way he just skipped about, just a step inside, and then nailed the goal. But he missed one set shot earlier that he would have really liked to have kicked, and now that's got him on the board. It can settle him down, and like I said, you've just got to persist in a game like this. If you're going to have a lead blowout at any stage, you want it in the first term, because what can happen is you've got 3 quarters to make it up.
Sam Filippo having kicked the entire Eagles score at the moment. O'Hara loosely out of the middle. Wise couldn't get there. Hay did, knocked it forward. Diving on the ball was Arnott. You'll get rewarded with a free kick. In the middle, Hopwood takes and then quickly on. Cochrane off the right foot, belts it long. Cowan in best position. Shell it is. Over the back to Shell. Should kick a goal. Answer straight away for the Dogs.
Dogs on fire. And I'll tell you what, if you're an Eagles fan, that just split your heart in two, because it just came straight out. And I say it again, Hopwood has to be manned up on. I know he's a half-back flanker, but when you're a half-forward, you can't give him any space whatsoever. He sets up so many plays for the Dogs just by getting himself loose, driving the ball in. Shell in a one-on-one contest did that too easily.
6 goals to 1 in the grand final in the first quarter. The Doggies, outstanding. Schooler couldn't get through. Shirley, haven't called him much. Rugolo, good mark in front of Hay. He knows time's on the wing. Rugolo kicks inside to Freeborn. Spent the first 15 to 20 minutes on the bench. Scott Freeborn, and looks like Ron Fuller has pushed him into the fray at the right time.
Good work by Vinny Rugolo. They didn't waste any time in holding up. That's probably been the Eagles' problem at the moment, just a bit slow to move it on as well.
They need to reply. That is an absolute shocker by Freeborn. They've got to do better than that. Schooler took the mark away to off the hide. Uses Slade. Got around Wise, or did he? Just. Slade with plenty of pace. The kick chopped off by Treby. Here come the Eagles. Getting back is Ellis. Long kick by Treby. Just covers Dale Ellis and Brad Curry and runs out of bounds.
Michael, superb work by Treby in the middle. Let's have a look at this. Kick aiming for a target of Steinburner. Just come inside, beautifully dodged, but then the kick from mine, I don't know whose advantage that was too. Freeborn was a little bit shorter, maybe could have hit that target. It was a nothing kick in the end.
Ball in, gets to the back, Wise, tackled. Umpire calls for the ball up.
That's okay though, Neil. Just put your hands on it and cause another bounce and just try and slow that momentum that Centrals have got so far from the stoppages. They've been superb.
25 metres from the Eagles' goal. O'Hara, Rugolo taps it into space. Colville look backwards towards Bock, or rather Ellis.
Great smother.
Smothered. Coming through Toya, and now Colville. Ball sprung free, still loose. Schooler taken down by Rugolo. And we get another ball up. Ball travelled 10 metres forward, then away again as we see Arnott that time with the big smother.
Oh, it's superb stuff. 1%ers. Set yourself one of those every game.
Finally, well, I thought the first free kick should have come to Colville. In the end, there was a high tackle in there, and Richard Cochrane will be penalised. We'll have another look.
It's Colville tackle.
Mistake made in here somewhere.
Oh, I think he's claimed that as a throw, but gee whiz, he didn't even get his hands on it. I think that's a very stiff call.
by Tim Pfeiffer. Just pointing out it's Justin Zigolella's kick for goal. Get good money on this man if the Eagles win, being best on ground. 2 times a club champion, 4th in the Magarey medal with 16 votes this season. He had 3 votes in round 3 against Central District and makes the distance.
That is a great leg, Neil Cross. Such an important kick, such an important goal. You know, I might be reminiscing, but 10 years ago in '94, there was another team down by 6 goals at the 20-minute mark, and they got themselves back in it by this sort of thing, just persisting. I mean, pretty harsh call on Richie Cochran, but when you get an opportunity at goal, you must nail it. And Zicolella has done that. You're only 4 goals down there at quarter time. Keep working, might get another one.
Andy Gold to the Eagles. Slade goes off the ground. Dogs have been able to reply. Can they do it again? Arnott kicks, looking for Shell. Can't take the mark. Ball hits the ground. Cowan. And they were inches away from replying yet again.
What a superb first quarter of football. The Dogs out of the blocks like lightning. They were superb around the stoppages. They moved it well with skill level, commitment, tackling, everything you want in the grand final side. The Eagles, for mine, shell-shocked for 20 minutes, but they did keep persisting. They kept hitting in, and they got a couple of late goals. So instead of being 6 down at quarter time, they're only 4 down. So that's 23 points, the difference at quarter time. A great first term for the Dogs. The Eagles would be very pleased with the way they finished off.
Quarter time in the grand final, and 23 points the margin. Paul Thomas has been prominent off his half back. He was Central District's 5th Magarey medal winner and has just the 2 possessions this afternoon so far.
My favourite thing in life is probably football training. You get to come out here and get some exercise and run around and have a bit of a laugh and really, yeah, just work and improve those things that are going to make you a better footballer.
He's a vastly improved player. He's now playing a bit on ball. We played him on ball this year, so we were thrilled with his year.
Brilliant play by Thomas. Inside 50. He drills another one for Doggies.
Under 6s at Elizabeth Grove Soccer Club, Paul started there because he was too young to play footy, and we used to train here and run across the ovals over there, and half the team would come over and we'd watch Paul play. And that year, I think he kicked something like 55 goals in the under 6s. So he obviously had a special talent. His ball skills were exceptional then, and if he wasn't had a soccer ball, he had a football in his hand.
He's really determined. Like, he'll get knocked down quite a bit, but he always seems to get up and like go harder than the time before, and proves to everyone that he's a hard-working person and he deserves what he gets.
The winner of the 2004 Magarey medal, Paul Thomas from the Central District Football Club.
It was awesome to be sitting alongside him when he actually got called up, and he'd won it.
I'm very, very proud of him. I was expecting to win the Magarey medal. I've seen most of the games this year and he's performed in all of them.
No, I would never have ever picked that I would win a Magarey medal, and it never has been an ambition. The ambition is to play football here for Centrals, and obviously hopefully this Sunday we can create some more history and reach my ambition of playing another premiership for the Central District Football Club.
Eagles come out of the middle through Colville, builds it long, looking for Filippo at the front. Thomas, the Magarey medalist, taking a strong mark. Paul Thomas there, and in 1989, the last Magarey medalist for Centrals was Gilbert McAdam. Rudy Mandermaker was the leading goal kicker. This year it's Daniel Scholl from Centrals, and of course they're looking for the triple. They also want those premiership medallions.
Well, they've started well, haven't they, Neil? And what a superb first quarter it was, and they just moved the ball so brilliantly well. And their defence, you know, Paul Thomas is a part of that, was very, very good in the first term.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And although stats-wise he didn't have a lot of stats, they're very, very good across that half-back line, Centrals, and they build very well, don't they?
They keep running, they keep presenting themselves, and they'll always be an option.
And Daniel Healy hasn't had many games this season, the captain, but he was in form and back in this week, and he started proceedings this afternoon. If we just have a look through some of these highlights.
Well, goals are like gold in grand finals, aren't they? And that was just a superb kick. Bello, best on ground the first term, no doubt about that. Involved in these first couple of goals. What a mark that was. I love the way this bloke throws himself at the football. Luke Cowan just keeps doing it. And that was a great grab and a good finish. Here's a great punch by Hay. He doubles up, gets a handball off of Richard Cochrane on his left. Superb kick at goal. They're on fire, the Dogs. Bello again, good hands. Pack situation, dug it out to Shell. His kick unselfish to the top of the square. There's the skipper. Breaks through easily, goal.
Player he broke through there, Mark McKenzie, probably a little bit disappointed with his opening term.
Yeah, it would have been, but he started to work into it like the whole side did. As you can see, Sam Philippo's work up forward just kept at it. This time just jumps around and kicks an impossible goal. It's a one that just gets the ship going.
How does he steer that from left to right, but he's on that side of the ground? We'll come back to that later as we look at that scoreline. And as we said, Luke Cowan and Daniel Healy with the multiple goals for the Dogs, and Sam Philippo and Justin Cicolella, a crucial goal for the Eagles. What do you make of the stats?
Well, it ended up not too bad for the Eagles. They didn't get a lot of it early, but they started to work themselves into the game. But look, inside 50, 16-8. Centrals were all over them that first 20 minutes, and they were just getting enough of the ball, pumping it inside 50. Goals had to come.
And the goals did come for Roy Laird and his men. Mark Soderstrom's been listening to what's been going on down there in the Centrals huddle.
Well, a red-hot start by the Bulldogs. Roy Laird very, very happy, as you would well imagine. He's praised his boys for just their hard work on staying over the ball, keeping their head down in the grand final, really putting their bodies on the line. He has said that he believes the Eagles will crack under immense pressure. Keep putting the pressure on and we will get them there. Paul Schuller's been patched up with that little nick over the eye. He's had the stitches. He did come on just at the dying stages of that first term. We'll head over to Andrew Rogers, who's heard exactly what Ron Fuller has to say.
It's interesting you highlighted that they wouldn't keep their head over the footy. Ron Fuller certainly highlighted that for the Eagles. They weren't tough enough in the contest. They turned the ball over too easily and they coughed it up in tight. Very disappointed with that aspect of the game, but they fought their way back into the game very well lately. And of course, all he's asking for is persistence is the key word. If they can persist, as they've done in similar finals, they well might get over the top of the Eagles.
Thanks for that, Andrew Rogers. And Ronnie Fuller already up just about to the level where he can go to his coach's box. Centrals are a bit late in coming out of their huddle, and you would think that man Roy Laird would have less to say perhaps than Ronnie Fuller.
He was very pleased with his troops early, but he wants them to keep on to it, because he believes if you're going to crack the egg, you might as well do it early.
See Roy Laird running off the ground again. He's heading for his third premiership in a row. He coached the 2002 reserve side, and then last year backed up with the league grand final side, and this season, as I say, going for 3 in a row. Roy Laird, very much a Centrals man at heart, was pushed into the job when Alastair Clarkson withdrew, and we're just about set for the second quarter. Here's Michael Maney.
Right on cue, Neil Schooler knocks it down. Ball just hacked out of there. James Gowans. Taken by Fiacci. Eagles need an early goal, you sense, just to get them on the way. Poor bounce for Treby. The ball was bouncing well for the Eagles last week. In goes Wise, ducked the head. Steinberner caught him. Umpire gives him the benefit of the doubt, did he? Umpire Williams could have just about blown the whistle, and Daniel Wise could have come out of that with a free kick against him. They've cut him some slack. Lindsay tried to get it down. McKenzie needs to lift his work rate. Schooler, wonderful tackle. The tackling has really been a feature in the 2004 grand final. Schooler just making sure that Mark McKenzie knew he was around.
Just 2 kicks for McKenzie so far.
Thanks, Ian Mogridge, a statistician on ABC Television Football. Steinberner just uses James Gowans. Dogs about to go inside 50 again. Flicked over the top by Cochrane. That was Richard. Passador has been sent back. Was outstanding there early last week. Pedlar can't get through. Did he have Pryor? Umpire Doddridge says no. Give it to me.
A good effort though by Joey Pedlar. Exactly what Ron Fuller wanted. Keep your head over the footy. Keep smashing into it. Keep persisting.
Ball knocked out by Lindsay. Thought it favoured Bello. McKenzie's got a tap on it. Bello to ground. Uses Chris Gowans to James. Hits a hot spot. Bit of jumper tugging. No free kick to Passador. Where Cicolella dives on the football, desperation from a fair way back, Justin Cicolella. That's what Ron Fuller wants to see.
Just seeing that loose ball situation, it was Bello who wins it, gets it up to the Gowans, they work it out, top of the square. The Eagles got to get their hands on it more often now. That's not a good tap.
Cowan to Shell, to Ware. Uses his pace. Kick didn't go 15. Shell, tackle. As the umpires see it, ball held in.
Yeah, good decision. Wasn't the 15 metres. And fair enough. I could see Ron not happy with that. I think there wasn't enough voice around Lindsay because he's getting his hand to it, but there's no voice. He's not telling him where they want it.
Ware just puts it up high. Cicolella under pressure. Got the hands to the ball. Kicked through his hands. Out to Bello. Bello was brilliant. Across to Arnott. And Arnott's kicked another one, has he? Wait on the umpire. Miners scored just away to the right-hand side, but that was dangerous again. The Eagles releasing the ball at the wrong time, Tim.
Well, you're right, Neil. 2 opportunities at goal coming from Lindsay's taps, who they're not telling him. I mean, he's almost got time to grab it and kick it or grab it and handle because there's nobody competing against him in that tap situation.
Eagles leading the hit-outs 19-7.
Yes, they're not going anywhere though, Moggy. Taken by Chris Gowans. Oh, surely no free kick to Williams. Ball flicked out the back. Piazzi might have been held without it. In goes Slade. It's tough in there. You wouldn't want to have a faint heart. And the umpire calls for 3 minutes gone. Second term. Umpire calls mine.
For the Eagles, Cicolella's setting an example of hitting in. Just keeps doing it. The Centrals, they've just about got every player doing it.
Another knock by Lindsay, goes to Gowans, and he hits the post. That would have been a terrible blow, as Lindsay's tap out just goes straight toward a Centrals player.
Once again, I keep saying it, Centrals have been superb in reading his knocks, but I don't think there's a lot of voice around him.
On that occasion, the Bulldogs just didn't even go for the knock. They just read where it was going. Now, they break from defence, the Eagles. Pedler, slow. The ball is touched off the foot. Through the middle it goes. Dogs have the numbers. Dogs take it through Shell. Shell's got Hopwood. Hopwood, if he can gather this, he's got room to move. He's now got room to move. He goes short to Slade. Wants to play on. Now he's boxed in. Slade has to go backwards. Plenty of options. Shell, one of them. Shell looks up. And he's called to play on. Hand pass off to the left foot of Hay. Hay inside 50 was a good kick, and Gowans took the mark. Got one from Treby, but I don't think it'll worry Chris Gowans.
Great leg, Tyson Hay. Good vision to find Chris Gowans, who stood his ground. But if you just watch Treby in this situation, he moves to the contest around the back of Gowans. He had to, in a grand final, move in front of Gowans and make a courageous commitment.
Chris Gowans won the Jack Odie medal for best on ground in last year's grand final. This is the shot from the other side of the ground, and he spread it to the right. And in the end, it was well taken by Joey Pedler.
Well, I'll tell you what, this quarter's opened up like the first one. The Centrals are just pumping it inside 50. The Eagles, on the other hand, have been let off the hook, I think, by some poor kicking at goal.
What breeze there is favouring the Eagles to the left of screen, and this is Merriman, who, as you see, has already had a time on the bench to repair a cut to his eye. Drives it outside 50. Lindsay was the target. It got over the back. Wise showed good pace. In a confined space, though, he ran out of room. And we'll get a throw in and half back for the Eagles. And Heath Hopwood slow to get up. And Wise ran past him and gave him one. And that's the reason for the free kick. Heath Hopwood, there was nothing in that, according to Tim Ginniver. And Heath Hopwood is clearly struggling.
Daniel Wise shouldn't have done it. I mean, it was very trivial, but just don't do it. It was just senseless. Now he's already concussed by the looks of him. He's just going to give it off. That could be a bad loss for Centrals because he provides so much creative play from that half-back flank. He's just had to come off. He's got no idea where he is. Let's have a look at the situation. He goes in hard. He does the damage to himself. Used his head to tackle.
Tim had just got a stat that you might like. 7 times the last 16 grand finals, the team that's trailing at quarter time has won the game, and every time it's been Port Adelaide.
I wonder you get the gist of what you're on about earlier, Tim. Just keep persisting. Eagles need to do so. McKenzie can't get it out of that pack. And another bounce The Doggies have come to play.
Oh, they have, absolutely. And Moggy, I thank you for that. They're very kind to me. But that's what I'm talking about, exactly what I'm talking about. And I suppose because it has been the club I was involved in, I'm speaking from experience about how you can get back into a contest.
Lindsay's tap out really just going to no one at all.
How many times though, Michael? When are you going to come up to? Joey Pedler here takes the mark, which is one hand, one bounce.
It looks like they're just letting Lindsay go, but he's just knocking the ball. No one's really manning him up in the ruck. They're just taking advantage of it. Roy Laird working overtime. So too Treby. Got it to Colville. Away to Merriman. Well done Ware. Provided the contest. Loose ball jarring out. Whoa! Talking about Jar. Vinny Rugolo on Slade. Slade is hurt. He's got some shoulder problems and had some, and he is hurt in the middle of the ground.
Michael, to compound Central's problems beyond Matty Slade, Heath Hopwood cannot come back onto the ground. He came off before and he didn't go through the gates, and the umpire has advised us that he could definitely not go back on the ground. So a huge loss for Central Districts.
That is a huge blow, and a big blue by someone down there.
Well, poor old Heath Hopwood was out of it, and the interchange steward didn't get him through the gates. So that is going to cost him. As I said, he's so creative, but I don't know that he's going to come good anyway.
Stokes needs to come good, along with about 17 other Eagles players. Freeborn below his knees. Terrible. Ellis taken to the line by Sivanala. Throw it back in. 39 plays 14. 8 minutes gone. Second term grand final.
Rugolo's hit on Slade. Very important to keep crashing in like that. Sikalella was superb as well. Central's on the other hand. They are talented enough to break this game open at any second you feel.
Treby did brilliantly and just squeezed it in for the Eagles. Oh, combined the injuries in the last couple of minutes, and Lindsay's tap into space finally found somebody.
Exactly right, Neil Cross, and they looked a lot better, didn't it? Looked superb. Down in the Central's forward line, they just let Lindsay take the tap and then they read it. But here, Treby does the right thing. He earns the first footy. We all know he's a talent, and this goal is an absolute beauty, and one that can really lift the team.
He has consistently improved as the year's gone on. Treby was out of this Eagles lineup earlier in the year. He's back with a vengeance. No one can get the tap. Lindsay just knocked it away. Westbrook, all of a sudden, the desperation's there for the Eagles. They've got a goal. In goes Wise, but he's attacked and mauled by a couple of rampaging dogs.
Yeah, but you just get the feeling they're winning the first ball, see? If you can come up off the bottom of the pack time and time again and give it back to the umpire, you're winning the first footy.
19 points the difference. Lindsay tried to take it out of there. Grabbed it again, tried to barge through, clipped Simon Larnett around the left ear.
And that's better by Paul Lindsay. He has to do that sort of stuff. Set the pad.
Maybe Roy can sense that the Eagles are starting to get their game together. Big, massive players. And Rugolo. There's Ronnie Fuller. He's had to work overtime. The Dogs away to a real flyer. They're out by 29 points at the 25-minute mark for the first term. Loose kick out toward the wing. Foot race. Shirley needs clean hands. Can get around. Does it okay to Stokes. Stokes with a check side. That's a clever kick. Up forward. Ball thumped away by Stewie Cochrane. And that is terrific football. He would be prime, Stewie Cochrane, missing out on the Powers Premiership. The kick by Stokes.
Slade wanted to get a bump on. After he caught one, but I'll tell you what, just moving that ball forward ever so slowly, getting their hands on it. Central superb at the clearances.
Healy was clever to Thomas, who would have been happy with the boundary. Instead got Merriman, shook the tackle. You won't see that often. Bello missing his man inside 50. Ellis the target. Over the back it rolls. Off to Hyde now. Phillippo tried to knock it away. Off to Hyde, kept in the path. Well done. In the end, he's grabbed. Shirley did well. Umpire comes in and we'll get a ball up.
Ever so close then to turning the ball over. That's more like the Eagles. They like to work hard in their forward 50 and kick the ball in. Couldn't do that in the first quarter.
O'Hara opposed to Slade. They win it easily. The Eagles go forward through. Rugolo has just missed.
Back to a 3-goal margin.
Players just left standing around then, weren't they? This was very close.
Well, that's more like it. O'Hara getting his hand to it and actually finding a target shot at goal. Don't waste your dominance in ruck, I say.
Absolutely correct, Tim Ginnivan. It's back to 3 goals. The Eagles, the Doggies have played a bit better than being front by just 3 goals. Here's the loping Schooler. Kick right in the centre of the ground. Uses Ware. Ware's got pace. Stokes can't reel him in. Ware's kick off the side of the boot, but it's good enough to find Shell. 45 outs. And the big spearhead can go back and drop this through for a goal to re-establish a 4-goal break for the Dogs.
Well, this will be the settler that the Dogs do want. I mean, Schooler, very good hands for the big man to get down so low and then dish it out well. The kick a little bit off the side, but it was intended for Shell. And this is an important kick for him and his club. They'll need to settle the ship because the Eagles have persisted in this first 10 minutes.
Daniel Shell has shanked it. They fly, ball thumped out of bounds, or was it? No, kept in play. Williams, desperation. Will he concede? O'Hara to Sikalala. Eagles might be out of trouble. Long kick by Sikalala to a 2-on-1 between Colville, Thomas and Ware. Over the back, Colville read it well. Needs to get rid of it. Terrific kick, looking for Ellis. It covers he and Curry. How will Ellis and Curry go? He's on the ground. It spills out to Ellis. Ellis on the left boot. Just squeezes the kick out to no one in particular. Here comes Lindsay, loping, Slade with pace, knocked it away. It'll beat Sivanala to the boundary line, it does. The kick was just squared up by Ellis into open territory and no one for the Eagles could run onto it.
This has been a fantastic grand final. I'll tell you what, I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm ready to jump out there and play. It is magnificent. I'm loving it. And what about Colville's 2-on-1 performance here at halfback? Superb.
Treeby read it best. Slade was good on the ground. They work it clear, the Dogs. Gowan wide looking for his skipper and Healy. Fiachi was there, O'Hara was there, Stokes was there, couldn't get the hand pass clean. Through came Sikalala, just hacked it off the ground, out on the full. And Stuart Cochrane will take the free kick for the Dogs. He's got a can square it up to Schooler. Opts to go longer, down towards centre wing. Big fly from Cowan, punched it to the front. Sikalala read it, now he's trapped. One arm taken by one Gowan, the other arm taken by the other Gowan twin. Gowans, I should say. There are 2 of them.
Justin Sikalala, though, keeps hitting in. He's keep persisting in amongst all those hot Dogs.
Slade taken, Rugolo, Westbrook quickly onto the boot. Inside 50. Curry opposed to Ellis. Bounce eluded them both. Curry was hit hard by Merriman. And there are a couple of Dogs out there who have been hit hard a couple of times. One of them's Curry, Lack. One of them is number 59, Slade, who a couple of times has been really shaken up by the aggression of the Eagles. And said that, the Dogs still lead by 18 points. Thomas got it to Chris Gowans. He's in trouble. Another ball up just outside 50. Umpire Tim Pfeiffer just coming in quickly, gets the game underway again, and Slade knocks it towards the boundary. We'll get a boundary throw in. 18 points to margin midway through the second term of the 2004 grand final.
There's Matthew Slade in the foreground. Outstanding year for the Dogs. So too Schooler, who got that down, looking for Slade. Here comes Treeby, very clean. Normally, Rugolo just kicked it high. Ellis will fly. No one can take the mark. Ware got it to Arnott. Loose kick across the face of goal. Sivanala just wants it to sit. It did. Down the line. He's got Cochrane running in a bit of space. He's just got to steady himself. Richard Cochrane can have a bounce. Good shepherd by Ware off the ball. Cochrane just loping down the wing. What has he got in front? Needs to go to the pocket to Shell and pass it on. Shell! That is a good mark. Play on, said the umpire. Got it to Stewie Cochrane. Will he centre it? He does. He's a man. He's loose. And he takes the mark. It's Steinberner. That is champagne football from Stewie Cochrane. How did Nathan Steinberner get some ground?
Rugolo just being rotated there, but I just feel in the back pocket here was Simon Arnott's effort to get that kick out of the pack situation, cleared it away, then they ran it down beautifully, the Dogs, and great kick, Stewie Cochrane. Good vision.
Steinberner. Lovely shot of this. Gun barrel straight. The boy from Gawler. The Dogs kick another one in the 2004 Grand Final. Doggies fans are happy.
Yeah, good mark here by Shell. Quickly plays it on. It's just where Passador's just got to hold that ball in no matter what. And I just felt Williams went to the goal square first rather than pushing back on a Steinberner. He might not have seen him in his vision, but certainly Stuart Cochrane did, but he delivered it beautifully. Good finishing by Steinberner. That just settles the ship.
4 goals the margin. Lindsay, or rather O'Hara it was, opposed to McKenzie, number 18 in there. And there's Lindsay, big Paul Lindsay, prowling the boundary at the moment. Both he and Schooler are off the ground. McKenzie slipped out a hand pass. Healy and then Steinberner, he's quick, just got his left foot kick away. And Cowan almost took the mark at the front. Gowans rode the ball, gave it back to Slade off his right foot. Just stabs the pass for Cochrane, just too much on it. And it will go out of bounds. No, kept in. Steinberner from the pocket, straightens, looks, targets Healy.
Yeah, good play, unselfish play inside 50 there by Central Districts. The captain's got it. Very rarely does he miss. And this could be a nice little break in play for the Dogs. They just go out. That's good play by Cochrane. Just keep the ball alive, and that's what they always do, Centrals. Keep it alive.
Daniel Healy. Great kick from Daniel Healy, the skipper. He played in the second semi-final. It was his first game since round 8. He's playing only his 5th game of the season, and he's got 3 goals already.
I told you he wouldn't miss. He's just a superb kick. Just watch this. That would be very interesting to see from boundary line side because he's kept it alive. And they've nailed the target in Healy, who kicks the goal and gives them a nice 5-goal breather. That is a good kick.
Huge discrepancy in possession so far. Central's 125, Eagles 78.
That's amazing. Daniel Healy, 3 goals. Back in the centre, O'Hara tried to get it to Colville, but there just seems to be a mass of Bulldogs who are right there. Their tackling sensational. There's Roy Laird. Doesn't look happy, but I tell you what, he would be.
He just put Schooler on into the forward pocket. Big mismatch with Merriman. About 200 centimetres in difference there, I reckon.
Arnott out of the scrimmage. Bad bounce for Bock and Co. Cowan just crashes through. Fiacci at the bottom. Just held on to the footy.
Yeah, just has to get that tackle on there, Peter Fiacci. Because if he does, he might get a hold of the ball because he tried to break a tackle. But every time the Dogs go inside 50, they look so dangerous, don't they?
They do. Shirley just bobs out the back to Bellows, snapped up by Treby, who's got some pace, he's got some class, he's got to use his left foot, normally uses well. Ellis thumped away by Sivanala. That defence has been outstanding. Shirley got it back to Wise. Here's a chance for the Eagles. Wise's kick was just terrible. Out comes off to Hyde, uses well to McKenzie. Dogs machine on, away again. Curry, high kick, looking for Chris Gowans. It floats to him. Williams holds him up. Got a man in Bello in short. Kick needs to be good. Is Bello. What's he got in front? Shell says kick it long, so too Schooler. He gets around a couple. Short kick to Schooler on the lead. Lovely play by Merriman. With a bit of pace, got in the gap. Used it well. He's got Wise. The kick won't carry him. Will go to Passador, who's got Wise. A fumble. You can't fumble like that. The Dogs will get you. Cochrane takes him to ground, and then he's irate at umpire Pfeiffer for not giving him a free kick. Tim Geneva, our expert on ABC television footy.
Look, you're dead right, Michael. It's a great call, and you can't afford to two-grab in a final. You've got to be clean with your hands. First grab, move it on quickly.
Here's Bello breaking away. Run down, umpire will give a free kick behind play. He'll bring it back. Free ball in the offender there, Bello. And they've left Merriman one out with Schooler in the goal square. It's still on. O'Hara quickly back to try and cover that option.
16.
His direct opponent, McKenzie, now approaching half forward. Gets the kick in long, 2-on-1. Schooler, over the back it goes. Pedler, opposed to Cowan. Pedler takes it to the line. And that's a good result for the Eagles. And Soda's down on the boundary with the former Glenelg coach, Brent Nonna.
Brenton, a super start by the Bulldogs.
Yeah, to be expected too. I think that was obviously the Eagles' legacy. They're always going to be notoriously slow starters, so they started well.
And what do the Eagles need to do to get into it? If you're in the box, you're on fire, what would you be doing, Brenton?
Well, they have to start winning the footy, you know, like their midfielders like Colville. Mackenzie's back in there now, which is good, but they're just not first to the ball at the moment. When the few opportunities they are getting it, they're just not winning it decisively enough.
All right, mate, thanks. We'll have a chat to you later.
Okay, good on you.
Bello, 60 metres from goal, thumps it long. Cicolella has a chance to back. Ops against it. Ball comes to the front. Chris Gowans with the ball, got it off, and Cochrane. Did he get a foot to the ball? He did in the end. 1, 2, 3, and eventually it's over the line. You reckon there weren't opportunities to kick a goal there?
You're not wrong. It was hot in the goal square, wasn't it? But good defensive work, I suppose we'll say in the end. Desperate defensive work. Cochrane had 3 or 4 goes at it to try and get it so close yet so far.
That is some desperation. Cicalella's playing for Cooks, don't you worry about that. He'll do the kicking out for the Eagles. 27 inside 50s to Central's, 13 to the Eagles. Long kick by Cicolella. Steinberner couldn't quite take the mark. Toyer at the bottom of that pack. We haven't called Luke Toyer at all, Ian Mogridge, in this game.
Just 2 kicks, 2 handballs. Sorry, that's Peter Fiarchi, isn't it? 1 and 1 for Toyer.
1 and 1. Down to Bello. Just sets it up to the goal square, and guess who's on his own? Scola. They'll just run through and kick a goal for the Dogs. They're out by 6 goals. The Eagles are being swamped in the 2004 SANFL Grand Final.
You'd have to say it's all the way from clearances too. This time Cowan won the footy down to Bello, who's just been outstanding. Schooler all on his own. Merriman having to come from the ground. Maybe he got hurt and couldn't get back to Schooler. He was in the square all on his own. An easy goal. The Dogs continue to be unselfish around the goal square.
And Andrew Merriman's come off with a left rib injury, replacing him, failing to have an impact on the game so far is Vinny Regalo.
O'Hara down to Freeborn, couldn't handle it. Arnott could, pulls it in, umpire calls play on, and we'll get a ball up. Craig Doddridge.
If anything was in the bag.
And Andrew Merriman in there, being treated, and struggling for breath, and you would think struggling to get back on the ground as the ball still in the centre square. Mackenzie, he's been struggling for a kick also, Moggy.
Jason Mackenzie or Mark was that?
Mark Mackenzie.
Oh, sorry, Mark's just had the 2 and 1, but Marco Bello's had 17 possessions today.
And in brilliant form, Steinberner into the open. Steinberner with pace, off the left foot, long for Schooler in the square. Schooler cuts from behind, play on, it's off to James Gowans, and it's off for another goal, no. And James Gowans, you saw the anguish there. Boy, the Dogs are hungry.
Oh, if they win this and he's watching the replay, he'll kick himself every time he sees this, because that was an open sitter for him. And beautiful work by Schooler again. Just have a look inside the rooms there. Merriman definitely got ribs. You'd be surprised if he comes back out.
Long kick out, Lindsay up against Ware. You'd think Lindsay could have taken that. Spills to Arnott. Looks for Schooler. Got a call from James Gowans. He's got Ware in short. He decides to go shorter still for Simon Arnott. Oh boy, worrying times for Woodville West Torrens.
Yeah, the Dogs are blowing this out at the moment. It was pretty tight at 18 points. In this last 10 minutes, they have lifted another gear. Very soon, they could break into overdrive.
38 points the difference in the grand final as Arnott lays back and drills another one. They are hot, the Bulldogs, this afternoon. Simon Arnott gets his first. And they move to 10-5, 65. 3-3-21, the Eagles.
Such a good player, Simon Arnott. Normally works the back half of the deck. But this time he sneaks down into the forward 50 and gets one delivered from him, from Gowans. And he doesn't let his teammates down in front of goal. Got to kick and goals, just keep the scoreboard pressure on. And that's what the Dogs have done this afternoon.
Important link man Simon Arnott playing just his 8th game of the season. He was the 2002 club champion out at Central District. Ronnie Fuller and Shane Reardon to his left, one of his assistants. Not happy. Bello, possession number 18, around the corner. He goes into space with that kick. Running it down, Fiachi. Healy trailing behind, and eventually it goes over the boundary line at half-back for the Eagles. Daniel Shell, that man there, leading goal kicker in the competition, has won this afternoon so far. Paul Lindsay, number 19 for the Eagles, has dominated the ruck. So much of it's been wasted because the Dogs have been able to do this, get the ball forward. Fiachi went for the line and got it again. 65 metres around from the end to which Centrals are kicking, and it's largely been in this zone for the day. 44 points the margin, close to half-time. This time Marco Bello took on the ruckman. Still Centrals, kick it into space. Richard Cochran off to Steinburner, backs his pace, goes around, gets the kick away into space. Was that in the back? It was. Daniel Wise, the offender, and Elijah Ware will take the free kick. Or will he? Very slow to get up. No, he's okay. Let's have another look.
He's down. There's a player down behind play. An Eagles player. Might be Stokes. I can't quite pick him out.
Fiachi.
It's taking a long time to get up. And Elijah Ware with a shot on goal could really do some damage here late in the first half. And oh, this is going to hurt.
So the margin stands at 44 points. This to make it 50 points at half-time in the grand final. Elijah Ware kicks the goal and the Dogs lead by 50 at half-time. And it's a little bit of push and shove in there too from the Dogs just to go on with. Back behind play, still just inside their defensive 50. The Eagles have Peter Fiachi down on his haunches as the Dogs congratulate each other on a superb first half. Tim Ginnivan.
Oh, superb. He's probably understating the performance so far. Marco Bello just slaughtering them in the midfield along with his other mates. They've just been letting Lindsay take the tap and they've been just reading it off hands brilliantly. A superb first half, 50 points up. You couldn't ask for better than that from the Dogs.
Centrals lead at 11-5, 71. The Eagles 3-3-21 at half-time. Take us through the goal kickers, Tim Ginnivan.
And the goal kickers for the Dogs. Well, Daniel Healy, the skipper, leading the way with 3. Cowan with 2, and singles to Hayes, Shell, Schooler and Steinburner. For the Eagles, Treby, Filippo, Cicolella, singles.
And look through those stats. The inside 50s, 30-13 in favour of Dogs, and they've made it count.
And they were all over them again in that second term. And the second half of it, they just went inside so many times and just kicked the last 4 goals of the game and just were superb.
Yes, Dogs by 50 points at half-time. The biggest comeback from a half-time deficit was in 1954 by Port Adelaide over West Adelaide. The margin was 25 points then, so they'll have to create history. We'll go down to Mark Soderstrom. Soder's down in the room, so I guess the Centrals players will be very, very happy at this stage.
Well, they are happy, Neil, and there were a lot of wasted opportunities early in that second term, but Central's good enough to stay with their dominate and kick a few goals. A lot of points early on. The big news from the second term was the fact that Heath Hopwood, when he came off the ground after receiving a heavy knock, he actually missed the interchange gate. So effectively his grand final is over. He cannot participate for the rest of the game. So that's a huge loss for Central. Fortunately, being 50 points up, it may not come into play too much. Now, since 1950, or the last 50 years in fact, only 12 sides have made a comeback since half-time who have been trailing and won. The Eagles, they are up against it. Andrew, what's been happening over there?
Well, the Eagles medical staff has been working overtime down below. We see Andrew Merriman on oxygen with a rib injury and Peter Fiachi vomiting, so I would expect the Eagles down to 19 men. What they need to do is just to get tough around the stoppages. They've been smashed in the stoppages. If they can get tough around there, break this margin down to 3 or 4 goals at three-quarter time, perhaps a hardened into the finals campaign might suit them well at the end of this game.
Well, they'll need something, won't they, Tim? I would have thought that they've really struggled in this opening half, and He talked about, Andrew Rogers talked about in the stoppages. Marco Bello in particular has been very, very aggressive in the stoppages. He's had 10 kicks and 8 handballs and is a large part of the reason the Dogs are on top.
Well, a good finals player is a one-grab player, Neil, and he was just superb in tight. He was good with feet, good with hands, and every time he got it, he found a target, moved it on, created goals, and by far the best player on the deck at the minute.
Across the season, all the minor round, he averaged 17 possessions a game, and he's got 18 to half-time.
Well, that shows you how good a day he's having, Neil. He's superb, isn't he? He's on fire and just keeps at it and at it. Winning hard balls like that, I mean, that's so important. Just keep at it.
Well, there's no position for that, is there? But it's a hard ball get.
Absolutely it is. And mixes it up, gets himself a free ball here, and he'll go long to a target. He's very accurate with his kicking.
The Dogs haven't been alone, of course, with Bello. I mean, obviously, at this stage, you would say he would be favourite for the Jack Oatey medal for best on ground. But, of course, the Gowans twins, who already have one of those medals in their trophy cabinet at home, they have been in superb form as well.
Well, if he can have a nice, consistent second half, you'd have to think that he might clean it up. But the Eagles, on the other hand, can they just pull it back goal by goal? I mean, I don't see it in them at the moment. I really do seem shell-shocked. And these guys are absolutely fired up. They've learnt from their 2002 failed campaign where they think they had those breaks and they didn't do it well. Well, Roy Laird's got it right this time.
You'll be putting on a coaching hat next year. Put on your coaching hat now in the grand final. Do you send, say, Luke Toyer and Scott Freeborn into the middle and say, let's get something underway out of the middle if you're the Eagles?
Well, I would have used Freeborn in a Hardwick type situation. Just thrown him in there for 10 minutes, get him to get amongst those Gowans and upset them so that they're not concentrating on the footy. And then you can maybe get your hand on it. And I mean, they've really wasted O'Hara and Lindsay's taps. I don't think there's enough voice around those guys, or even just push it out to a space and get maybe Trevian, somebody with quick legs, Wise, who's very, very quick as well, get them amongst it. This guy's really played his heart out. Ciccalella, he's been at it and trying to crunch in and set the example, but hasn't had too many mates around him.
It's been disappointing from that aspect for the Eagles. The Dogs have... Well, they've beaten the Dogs a couple of times in the minor round, but it was the Centrals who won the second semi-final, only by 2 points, but they were 25 up at three-quarter time, and only winning by 2 points, and they've shown how to do it in the major round.
Yeah, haven't they? And I think the Eagles haven't beaten Centrals in a finals appearance, so...
5 losses, in fact, to the Eagles against Centrals in finals.
Doesn't look like it's going to be turned around today either, so Centrals will continue on, and they want the first 2 goals of this third term, because that will just really make the Eagles heavy and tired in the legs, where, you know, if the Eagles think that they can just pick it back goal by goal and get some momentum flying, maybe the Dogs get a bit tired, but you can't see it happening.
We'll break it down. If you're an Eagles coach at this stage, what are you looking for? Maybe 4 goals of difference at three-quarter time and come home.
Spot on. You need to be within 4 at the final break, and that's going to be a big third quarter if they can do that.
We'll break it down. If you're an Eagles coach at this stage, what are you looking for? Maybe 4 goals of difference at three-quarter time and come home.
Spot on. You need to be within 4 at the final break, and that's going to be a big third quarter if they can do that.
Well, let's see what happens. It's going to unfold before us on ABC TV, and here's Michael Maney with the second half.
And what a second half it could prove to be if the Eagles can get back into this game. The Dogs, 11-5, have really taken it up to the Eagles, 3-3. Just looking around at the structures. Off to Hyde, still back there at fullback. There's Paul Lindsay. Filippo hasn't really been able to get into the game. Second half underway of the 2004 SANFL Grand Final. A 50-point lead to Centrals. In goes Lindsay, hard on Arnott. They'll need a fair bit of that. We'll go for a secondary ball up. And Gavin Colville, speaking to his players just before they broke and went to their positions, was very animated. Schooler, James Gowans, chopped off by Rugolo. Quick hands by Lindsay, got it to McKenzie. They go inside 50. Out comes Filippo. Wise got it to Toyer. The Eagles need the first one. Toyer's kick is pushed right away. Out of bounds on the full. Luke Toyer. Only a handful of possessions in the grand final. 3 only. And the Eagles into attack early. in this third term. Curry with the football in the back pocket. This runs off the line and boots it long. Westbrook's in best position. Schooler did well. Rugolo chopped off by Hay. Has been terrific. Kicked a lovely goal in the first half. Thomas gave some ground back to Slade. That little stabbing pass we've been familiar with all through the season finds James Gowans to Arnott. Arnott looking for Steinberner. Out comes Freeborn. Just got his hands. Looks like Freeborn's gone back. Falls into the lap of Steinberner. Off to Hyde. Got it back to Sibanala. Used the left boot. Inside 50. Passador backed his judgment. Went without the football. It spills to Healy. This could be gift wrap from the skipper. He's got another one. He's booted 4. He's only played 4 games this year. And they're out to 56 points. A dagger goes through the heart of the Eagles.
Well, here's a mistake. 1. Here's 2 mistakes. Beautifully picked up, delivered. Hand and foot, Steinberner up to Healy. He doesn't miss. He's a great kick for goal. Exactly what you want from your skipper to set the example and put scoreboard pressure on. 4 for the day. He's having a bit of a day out. Hey, you only played 4 games. This is the most important one.
Daniel Healy leading the way, maybe to another premiership for the Dogs. Almost certainly, you'd think. Here's Sikalella, shakes Cochrane, dummies, gets around a couple, gets a kick away, picks out his man in Toya. Ball carried too far. Treeby was good. Westbrook off the right foot, chips it up looking for Phillippo. Too much carry. Sibanala, good kick. Now in space, Thomas was good. Hand pass, he'll get it back. Thomas running from the back. Gets reward for his run too with his 3rd possession. Just off the right foot, goes down the line. And out of bounds at half forward. Paul Thomas, the Magarey medalist, showing his style. His father, Jamie, played 124 matches for the Dogs. Never in a premiership. Paul Thomas has already had that honour last season. He's actually going for his 3rd in a row. Played in the reserves in 2002. Lindsay brings it to the front. Slade and Bello work it to the line.
In the first half, besides Marco Bello having 18 possessions for the Dogs, James Gowans had 17, and no Eagles player had even half as many. Vinny Rugolo was their best with 8.
Marco Bello, 99 best and fairest at Centrals. Here's Hearn taken to ground. Young Hearn, just 17 years of age. There's another young man in Elijah Ware on the bench for Centrals. Lindsay comes in. Slade taken to ground, thumped the ground. Westbrook it falls for. Westbrook down to half forward, looking for Toya. Wise was good, roved it at the front, but then couldn't get possession. Stokes ruled not to have possession. It'll be a free kick. Stokes has been very quiet, has kicked 7 goals against Sturt in one of the finals.
5th possession.
Drives it inside 50, could have been a pass to off to Hyde, such was his lead. Took it away from Phillippo, and now Chris Gowans at the back. James Gowans moves for him. He's got that option, and that's the direction he goes, and Centrals will break from the back.
James Gowans just running off, had a man running with him. That's Steinberner. Over the top, they create the loose man. Terrific work by Richard Cochrane. Just dances around a couple, got it to Steinberner. A little bit more dancing. Back to Cochrane. Just jammed it on the boot. Good pressure by the Eagles. Ellis was at half-back. Working a long way forward to get his kicks. Nathan Boku hasn't had a good day, along with a few mates. Awkward bounce. Thomas just attacks it. The Magarey medalist ridden into the ground by Treeby. Umpire said that was fair enough. Ball up.
Let him up now, let him up.
The Eagles really, even in that situation, couldn't hit a target, couldn't move it through the centre. The Dogs, on the other hand, when they get hold of it, it's like a hot knife carving through butter the way they use it.
Schooler backed his judgment, took it out of there and got it to Thomas. Another inside 50. Pedler misjudged it. Over the back. Healy, if he can just straighten and get a run, he'll probably kick another goal. But he moved it off the ground. He did. But it was knocked through. One behind. Oh, he just about had his 5th.
You could see every inch of the hamstring stretching to their ultimate to try and get a boot to that ball. Desperate effort by Passador on the end.
And immediately they've made a mistake from the kick in, and there'll be pressure on again. Ball in the forward pocket. Gowans doing the pressuring. just have another look as Williams bringing the ball in, made the mistake for the kick out. And James Gowans almost able to get away with it. Ball back into play now. Lindsay with the tap. Just haven't been able to work the ball away from the stoppages. This time they do through Shirley. He's under pressure though. Arnott going back. And Wise play on, called by the umpire, and a correct call over the boundary line in the tackle of Stuart Cochrane. And so does who's on the Central's bench now and who's actually fit.
Well, Elijah Ware looks like he's okay, so he's sitting down there having a break. He was just replaced by Shannon Hearn moments ago. Jason McKenzie also having a breather. He'll come on and do some ruck work. And, of course, Heath Hopwood will be sitting there relaxing, hoping that the boys get home because he certainly won't be contributing anymore.
Well, they'll get home, I would think. And here's Steinberner, just made the mistake with the disposal. Well done by Box. Steinberner with the tackle. They'll get a ball up 25 metres from the Central's goals.
Just see here, trying to kick what he should have perhaps handled. But they're doing everything right, so we'll let him get away with that.
Well down again. Cicolella just took it out, kicked it wide. Arnold will want to get it back into the centre corridor. Didn't come off the boot right. Got to Passador in the in the back pocket, I should say. Eagles under pressure. Cicolella gave it up. Now it's Williams' turn. Put the head down, was tackled. Umpire calls for a ball in.
Just been all over him, haven't they? The Dogs desperate in their forward line to keep it alive so they can all have another shot at goal. Hungry.
Brad Williams there. They're hungry, all right. And they're feeding on the Eagles at the moment. Lindsay just down to a 50-50 contest. James Gowans got a call from Chris. Shirley. Stokes. Wobbly old kick. Arnott couldn't take it. Cicolella. Pirouette this way, that way. Ball jars out the back. Freeborn. Good hands to Lindsay. Missed the target, Colville. Hay just crashes in. Colville bounces off and keeps going. High ball, Cochrane. Knocked it away. Westbrook at the foot of the pack. Go to Andrew Rogers.
Yes, on the bench for this, Andrew Merriman hasn't come out from the dugout. Peter Fiacchi certainly very sore, and Brett O'Hara is the only figure that can come back on for the Eagles.
Thanks, Andrew. Swarm of Dogs. Steinberner does it so beautifully well. Away to Gowans. Gowans speared. Hilly. Well, they can do no wrong. And this is very ugly, Tim Geneva. Well, it's getting that way, isn't it? This will be goal number 5 for Daniel Healy, because this is such an easy kick for him. It's not funny, but their delivery and clean hands around the pack. Steinberner really covered him up in this turn. This for a handful for the skipper. Makes no mistake. Goodness me. It's out to 63 points. Yeah, it's going to get ugly unless the Eagles can really clamp down around those stoppages. But, you know, again, inside Central's forward 50, I've seen Lindsay win every single tap. And yet I've seen the Dogs nearly take away every single clearance. And this guy, when he is valued for touches, he's valued for games too.
He's only had 6 kicks today for his 5 goals.
Played 4 matches before this afternoon's. He kicked 5-1 in those matches. He's kicked 5-1 so far in the grand final. Colville, Bello, hand pass forward. Dogs have got plenty of players forward of the play now. Fiacchi off the ball. Cowan was going to get into Treby, and now it's on. A little bit of push and shove. Tim Pfeiffer putting the ball down. Westbrook and Chris Gowans going at it off the ball. Knocked in the direction nicely for Toya. Toya now breaks, trying just to run at the Dogs, trying to commit the Dogs. Here's Rugolo. Rugolo goes down to half forward. Lots of push and shove between Sibanela and Passador. Stuart Cochrane, and if that wasn't deliberate, I'm not here. He went straight for the boundary, but it's play on. And out of bounds, we'll get the ball in. Or Lindsay going to the bench. O'Hara opposed to Schooler. Schooler will come from behind and puts the tap into space. McKenzie just lobs it up, backing back and pushed off the ball. Passador, and we'll get a free kick, and Sibanela was the offender. Umpire Craig Doddridge right on that one.
Arnott was showing great courage in backing back with the sun in his eyes to take that ball. And Sibonala obviously protecting him illegally, according to the umpire.
Well, you wouldn't think it was the decision that'll change the game, Neil, but umpire saw it as a free kick.
Mark Passador been at both ends of the ground this afternoon. He's had his problems with injury throughout the season, but he's always been an accurate kick. In fact, 8 straight goals before that particular kick in the finals. So now it's 9. And the Eagles could do with 9 more from Mark Passador.
It's not as if you can blame the forward structure of the Eagles or anything like that. It's just that they've been slaughtered in the midfield. And I mean slaughtered. Now, you can talk about whatever you like about this one and that one, but it's just been the superb midfield of Centrals dominating through there that has really opened up this game.
First goal for the Eagles since the 8.5-minute mark of the second term when Lee Treeby snapped a brilliant goal. Free kick will go to the Bulldogs. Hay punts it long. They've been able to respond on every single occasion, the Dogs. A little nudge out by Chris Gowans. He takes the mark, spears the kick and finds Daniel Shell on the lead. And will they respond once again? They have all the answers.
All right, the Dogs only had 3 in the square and that last baller.
They could have 1 and still take it away on that deal at the minute.
Doesn't matter at the moment. That's just, you know, that's when you're confident. Just pushing off with your body. Chris Gowans taking a one-hander, then delivering on your left.
Marks inside 50, Centrals 13, Eagles 2. In fact, Eagles have only taken 14 marks all day.
Daniel Shell, 68 goals before this game. He's kicked his second and he's up to 70 goals. They respond so quickly. Daniel Shell's got a couple and they re-establish that 10-goal lead.
Let's have a look at Hay here. He's been very good in defence. Played a great game. He's provided plenty of run. Chris Gowans does some very fancy work on the left foot. And Daniel Shell delivers a superb kick for goal.
They have the leading goal kicker in Daniel Shell. They have the Magarey medal with Paul Thomas, and they're going to get a premiership as well. Here's Toyer out of the middle for the Eagles. Brilliantly trapped by Passador. Couldn't shake the tackle. Hay just clears it for the Dogs.
It's been good.
Simon Arnott's just having a breather for the Bulldogs. Like Healy, he's had an interrupted season. Only his 8th game today. He's been replaced by Noodles Ware on the outer wing, who's picking up Gavin Colville.
O'Hara and Schooler, who's now on the boundary line. O'Hara just paddles it down the front. Hearn got forward to the play, couldn't trap the ball. Now he'll get it. Was aware that he had a player beside him, but wasn't going anywhere. And Sikalella, well, he'll be beset upon for that. Just the errant arm coming in there, and a lot of frustration for Sikalella, who's now, well, I thought he handed out a headbutt then too. He's a very frustrated man, Justin Sikalella, but got the free kick.
Right.
Just have a look at the arm. I think Gowans might have made more of it than was necessary. Umpire Doddridge handing out the free kicks. Just trying to break up these passages of play, which could get very ugly. And off the play, Sikalella has been booked.
Yep.
Because off the play, he has belted James Gowans. And that would precipitate Chris Gowans coming in and remonstrating.
Look, I can appreciate the frustration in the Eagles players, but just got to be careful.
Should have happened in the second quarter if they were going to mix it up.
Yeah, a bit late to mix it up now.
Well, now you just wonder if you're going to see some panic from the umpires here, as Chris Gowans with a little pass from James Gowans, which was perhaps just 15 metres. All set it up. They've got plenty there. Sibonala shares it with a long kicking Hay. Hay inside 50 to the fat side. Cowan going for it. His arms were taken away. Play on called the umpire. Ellis to the boundary line. I think
things are hotting up, but it's well past a joke when it comes to the actual score. 63 points the margin. I don't think Ronnie Fuller, the Eagles coach, is impressed.
Oh, he is shattered, and rightfully so. He is so disappointed with a lot of his players' endeavour today.
Fiacci has done a good job to come back. Was that deliberately? Umpire Doddridge said no. Didn't have anywhere to go. Peter Fiacci was ill at half-time, copped a heavy knock just before half-time. He's got plenty of ticker. He'll keep going at it. O'Hara in the ruck, big discrepancy in the ruck, about 42 hit-outs to 17, and the Dogs lead by 10 goals. Bello, outstanding. Gowans, over the shoulder, snap, goal! James Gowans. Looks another one for the Dogs. That's a rout.
Well, you've got to do that too, Michael, after there's been a bit of scuffle, a bit of, you know, push and shove and all the rest of it. You have to get the next goal. And this is great. Hands Bello again, involved in the movement. Creates another goal. James Gowans, a great left foot snap. He'll be happy with that one because he missed one earlier he was pretty disappointed with. But that one will make him very happy.
James Gowans has now had 14 kicks and 9 handballs to be the busiest player on the ground.
Paul Thomas infringing on Sikalella, a free kick for Sikalella. Two-time best and fairest at Centrals. Oh, sorry, at the Eagles, I should say. Centrals don't need him. They're just so good. Passador running onto the ball, couldn't get the kick away. Curry cleans up for the Dogs at the back. Looks for Thomas, and O'Hara slips in and takes a good mark.
That was excellent work by O'Hara. As I said earlier, instead of trying to get behind and spoil, if you can make the effort to get in front, he certainly did that and took a good mark.
O'Hara just considering the options, and they're not by any means plentiful up forward. Full of Dogs, the forward line. Filippo was in there. He's still on the ground, and after it, somehow it came out. Rugolo couldn't get a hand pass away. Plenty of Central's players around the ball. They look like they've got just more players on the ground at the moment. Sikalella taking a seat.
I think he was frustrated too because he put in a superb first half to try and get his side going.
Here's Stokes, beaten for the ball by Chris Gowans, got it towards the line. Ware did well. Steinberner just on the boot quickly. Bello just hacked it forward, or back as it turned out. Healy was taken high. That'll be a free kick. Play on. They've got players forward of the play. One of them, James Gowans, just takes the tackle, and Richard Williams, the umpire, decides I'll take it back to where it was. Yeah, so it gets returned to Daniel Healy, the original free kick. Healy looks down at half forward. He's got Cowan. Cowan gets Pedler out of the way and just gets a bad bounce. The Dogs, though, almost able to make the most of it. They've made the most of just about every bounce this afternoon.
Oh, they've been superb around the clearances. You can see Ronnie Fuller. That is not a man relaxing back and enjoying life. That is a man very, very disappointed in his charges. Very much in the knowledge his side will not win this grand final. They've been overwhelmed. Colville and Toya. They brought Toya across from WA to add strength to their midfield, and he's done that. Unfortunately, just injuries late in the season have hurt them, and it's been a disappointing finish, no doubt about that, for the Eagles. Richard Williams just throws the ball up. Cowan comes from behind, down to Slade. He hasn't been good this afternoon, but he hasn't needed to be. Steinberner got it across to Hearn, and the young man misses. From 20 metres out, 17-year-old Hearn. Well, that was disappointing, wasn't it, Neil? I was riding that one with him. I was hoping he was going to kick it.
It'll come back because Steinberner, after handballing it, was taken high. The umpire called play on Richard Williams. There was a shot at goal, as we see Treeby, well, sort of high, wasn't it?
He was taken high, Steinberner, for sure.
And then umpire called play on. Hearn missed it, so the advantage wasn't there. It's brought back for Steinberner. Teacher from Tanunda.
Brilliant.
And drills home another goal. Oh dear. The red, white and blue is dominating this afternoon, the Dogs will win their 4th premiership.
What a superb day they have had. Right from the opening bounce, they meant business. They had a little bit of a challenge late towards the first quarter, but since then they have been superb. Definite free kick. Steinburner always in control there. Treby didn't get low with his hands. And Steinburner, very consistent player for the Dogs. Part of that core that has been involved in what will be 4 premierships.
19 possessions today.
There's 20. He's just got another kick. Steinburner inside 50. Chris Gowans, no handball. Cochrane over the top. Pedler just hacked it. Freeborn overran it. McKenzie just paddled into the clear. Stokes just off the ground, only as far as Cochrane. They are hungry, the Dogs. He squares into the hot spot. McKenzie couldn't take it. James Gowans, quick hands. Guess who? Chris Gowans just misses to the near side. 76 points in favour of the Dogs.
Yeah, I think you'll see some party tricks coming out in that last term. They are getting so much of the football, and it's just going to rain goals. They are very fresh, and they're just going to run this out.
Stokes with the long kick in. Pedler flies from behind, as did Westbrook. They both missed it. Here's Elijah Ware. Off the left foot was clever. Shell at centre-half forward. Time to fumble. The Gowans boys share it. Chris is the one ends up with it, and he sprays the kick on a minor score.
Oh, he's disappointed with himself, I tell you what. James is saying, come on, there's a goals. Kick him through there. They'll be having a marvellous time tonight, those lads.
77 points the difference. Just amazing scenes at Football Park. The Eagles have been blown away by this outstanding Bulldogs unit. O'Hara to Ellis, who's been just about their most productive forward with Passador, has gone back. That's what sort of a day it is. That's a high kick. Curry. Filippo did well. Curry back to Thomas. Shell back to Thomas. Just running away. Brilliant shepherd by Ware off the ball. Thomas looks for Cochrane. Fiachi over the top.
25.
And he'll get 25. Oh, the wheels have fallen off well and truly for Woodville West Torrens.
I mean, that slow motion replay doesn't do justice to Peter Fiachi there. He was pretty well committed. But it's going to be another shot at goal for Richie Cochrane.
We've seen worse than that today. It's been let go. It's been a torrid grand final. Torrid if you're an Eagles supporter. From the reverse angle. Richard Cochrane. Booted. 12 goals this season for the Bulldogs. Kept it pretty low and skewed it across the face.
Yeah, that wasn't a great shot. He won't be happy with that one. Watching that on the replay, as they will. It's a huge margin for three-quarter time, isn't it?
So is the difference in the possessions, 225 to 123, so more than 100 the difference.
Tells the story, though, isn't it? Because they are just getting so much of it.
Yes, the most efficient side in the competition, Central, so you would expect with that much possession they'll use it, and that will be a free kick. Holding the ball or too high, take your choice. Stuart Cochrane drives it up towards McKenzie at the front. Richard Cochrane just couldn't handle it. Through for the minor score.
If it keeps coming inside 50 like that, though, it's got to break open. They're going to get more and more goals. It's just going to keep happening. And the boys are just getting their hands on it at will.
Stokes to Shirley. Just big numbers for the Dogs. Treby in front of Hearn. To be valuable experience for Hearn playing in a grand final.
You could probably afford to leave him out there too. And just let him soak up as much as possible.
Treby got around him and used his right boot, and McKenzie couldn't take the mark because the boundary umpire was in the way.
Well, he might as well get a touch as well, and we'll put it down for Central because they are just dominating.
Lovely shepherding off the ball by the boundary umpire.
Superb. Kept his eye on the ball too. Back with courage. That's finals football.
Cochrane. Just kick long. Stokes has got to go. Cowan. We've seen him fly. Stokes is hurt. It showed tremendous courage.
Yeah, you've got to reward this. Look at this. Held on that for long enough for 9 and a great act of courage.
Stokes again. He might pick out a trainer. It's out of bounds. Now the trainers, the boundary umpires, who else can get in the way out there that aren't actually playing? There's Freeborn taking a spell.
Joining Freeborn on the boundary is Chris Gowans off for a breather, and Simon Arnott back in the middle.
So does at the rate we're going, you can start your post-game interviews about halfway through the last quarter, I would have thought. And I would have thought the Gowans boys would be interested.
Oh, there'll be no doubt about that. I think if I'm a bit worried, if I go over there and give them the mic, Heath Hopwood and Chris will probably take over and we'll be finished for the day.
Here's Stokes clearing from defence. High, Rugolo came across. McKenzie has been quiet today, taken to ground and brutally dealt with by Tyson Hay.
You reckon they might have targeted him, Neil? McKenzie, every time he's been at the footy, they have mobbed him.
O'Hara just slammed the ball forward. Stuart Cochrane, well awake to what was going to go on, got the easiest of possessions, drives it in the direction of McKenzie, punched away by Ellis. Here's Stokes, gave it straight to Bello, who in turn gave it to Steinburner. He will kick to the open side and find Elijah Ware. Ware waits on the lead, and Shell slides in and takes another mark. Daniel Shell, when he received the Ken Farmer medal for the leading goal kicker in the competition, said, really, all I have to do is get into position. Such are the skills of the midfielders that I've got in my side. And let's have a look at how they do it.
Well, time and space, isn't it? Once they got loose, switch play across the other side, plenty of time to deliver it, no pressure.
Daniel Shell lining up for Central's 17th of the afternoon. 16-10 for his 4-3, and Daniel Shell has added to it. 17 goals 10 to 4 goals 3. What a pitiful scoreline if you're an Eagles fan, and how sweet it is if you're a Dogs man. Oh, Fulham.
He's a great kick for goal. He really is pretty accurate. I mean, probably only one better, Daniel Healy in the side, who's got 5 today, so really doesn't let his side down. That's what you want from a forward. You want to make sure that all your hard work up front ends up with goals.
85 points, the difference in the grand final. Can you believe it? We can't up here in the commentary position. 2-point victory to the Bulldogs in the second semi-final. Huge turnaround, an 83-point turnaround in the grand final. Bock has been ineffective for the Eagles. He's kept trying, no doubt about that. Just hasn't been able to get enough of the football. He's had a few mates. O'Hara, just a Shell, working out a long way from goal. Bello continues to rack them up. Here comes McKenzie, knocked away by Ellis, taken by Arnott. It bounces which way? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's another one. He's got a couple, Simon Arnott. It's out to 91 points.
As far as I can work out, Mike, with the biggest three-quarter time margin in the grand final before, this is 77. This also represents, if it stays this way, the biggest win that Central's have ever had over the Eagles.
This is getting quite embarrassing now. As I said, the boys will open up the party tricks, and there's one of the best. Arnott, who just works so well. Like I said, normally the back half of the ground, but he snuck up for a couple of goals this turn.
They've never lost a finals game to the Eagles, the Dogs, and they're not about to lose one now. Straight out of the middle from Steinburner down towards McKenzie, who comes to the front, and Shirley just has to concede. He just did not have anything on offer on this side of the ground, and the Dogs just going forward at will.
Marco Bello off the ground for a well-earned rest. He's had a sensational day in the midfield, been the catalyst for a lot of Central District's play early in the game. He's been replaced by the skipper, who's looking to add to his 5 goals.
Thank you, Mark Soderstrom. On the boundary, Healy, oh, they can do no wrong. Steinburner to Shell, back to Steinburner, and Steinburner's kick was just away to the right. But that is no score, so the three-quarter time score will stand as a concerned Roy Laird.
Oh yeah,
just can't lighten up in the grand final.
What's he going to do?
92 points up. And there's a man, I reckon, who will have a few grey Hares formulating today. Ron Fuller, the coach of the Eagles. It's three-quarter time in the grand final. Central's 18-11, 119 are thrashing the Eagles 4-3, 27.
Well, it's a 92-point margin, as you said, Michael, and it just got embarrassing in that term. They just sprinted away. Another 42-point lead after being 50 up at half-time. Just superb. Colville talking to his troops, but it's well and truly spent. And you just have a look at, you have a look at the two coaches. They got no idea what to do.
Well, Gavin Colville bounced back from a knee reconstruction this season. The captain would be very disappointed with their performance today, but very happy with his season.
Loose ball, Colville, it's high, it's long, it is straight.
I came over from Victoria. I played some years with the Geelong Falcons in the under-18 competition, and then they come over to South Australia in '95, so 9 years ago now.
Colville is running amok down there.
I'm not very tall, so you're not going to see me in the ruck or any key position players. So, but I enjoy running and just working as hard as I can.
He's just a really, really driven person. He sets himself a goal, whether it's in footy or in work or in other aspects of his life, and he just does whatever he can to achieve it, and he's not satisfied until he does, and he can just keep going and with this drive within himself until he achieves that goal.
And Gavin Colville and his men trudge off Football Park.
I noticed that the guys were disappointed with losing that game, and I just said to them that it's far from over, and remember, it's just about us at the moment, and forget results. Let's just focus again straight away.
He copped a bit about his red hair when he was young, and they'd moved to a new town at the start of Year 3, and he was being picked on by a few of the boys, and his Year 3 teacher said at the end of that year, I've never seen anyone turn around a group of kids so much. He had them eating out of his hand by the end of the year, and he was just, their leader, so he's always been like that.
The opening goal for the Eagles with Colville.
When we play footy and I see the joy that it brings to other people, and I think that's a pretty special thing. So personally, I just want to be able to finish off and just be happy with what I achieved, and along the way I hope I can make, bring some happiness to some other people as well.
Well, he'll be a little bit disappointed with the performances this afternoon. Individually, 9 possessions. He averaged 22 across the season. And Gavin Colville, a joint runner-up in the Magarey medal this season in his comeback after missing last year with a knee reconstruction. A very, very fine player, but unfortunately today, against the tide.
Oh, slaughtered by the midfield. None of the Eagles players have been able to get time and space to be able to earn a possession. As you can see here, he's had to earn every one of them, and they have just been superb, the Central's midfield. This was one of his few possessions that he got, he well earned on his own, but it's been a hard day at the office for the Eagles midfield.
Well, one of the problems when he got that ball finally in a bit of space, it was closed down quickly and he didn't even have time to look up, and the Dogs have been all over them. Daniel Healy has been in superb form up forward. Hasn't played that many games this season, but he's made it the most of his 5th game of league football this year.
Oh, superb, mate. I think he's had about 7 or 8 touches, kicked 5 goals, just been in awesome form. Never misses. Very important for a leader and especially a captain to make sure that they kick the goals and keep the scoreboard pressure on, and he does it every time. Yeah, he's done it in other grand finals, and he's certainly been superb today.
Well, what more can you do in the final term? That if you're a Doggies player, I mean, you just want to make. You'd almost want to keep yourself for the performance tonight.
For once in not too often in a grand final, you can actually go out and really enjoy it and not be on the edge. And, I played in 9 GFs, and it was only one occasion that we had such a commanding lead at three-quarter time that we could actually go out and enjoy the game and share it around, because you knew you were just going to get your hands on the ball. You were that dominant. And this is what's happening for the Dogs today. They're so dominant in this game today and the competition that they are just sharing it around at will.
Yes, they are, and they've been in great nick this afternoon, the Dogs. They were questioned, no doubt about that, in the lead up to the match, but they've had all the answers this afternoon. Daniel Healy with 5, Daniel Schell with 3, Luke Cowan's popped in, Nathan Steinberner, Simon Arnott, it just goes on, and look, we'll leave the Eagles because there's no point really in going through those goal kickers.
And the stats tell a very sorry tale. I mean, 134 and 108 Centrals, but 77 to 55. The Eagles, no matchup.
Well, down to the ground level, and it's been a disappointing afternoon, no doubt about that, for Andrew Rogers and all the Eagles players, Andrew.
Yes, it was a very controlled Ron Fuller who came down and addressed his players. A number of senior players are trying to fire the side up. Just really seems to be to no avail. It's been a disappointing day. They've been smashed in the midfield. They've been winning the ruck tats, but just Central District's been getting inside him at the contest. All he's really trying to do is to get his team to play for some pride in this last quarter. It's now with Mark Soderstrom with a special ceremony.
Well, Andrew, just firstly on the Bulldogs, it was short and sweet at their huddle, and Roy Laird just said he wants the boys to maintain the discipline. A couple of little fights broke out in that third term, and he just said, look, don't worry, don't get sucked in, enjoy the win, but keep your mind on the job. We need to obviously, well, make the most of this last quarter because they're a long way up.
He's walked out on us.
Thanks for that, Soda's just about set for a start in the final quarter of the grand final of 2005. Well, I guess the only guessing game now is what the margin will be. Here's Michael Maney.
92-point lead to the Doggies, who start the last quarter in the 2004 SANFL Grand Final. And it has been a shocker for the Eagles. In the centre, Colville, we saw some highlights of his game. Haven't been able to get too much of it today. On track here, uses Stokes. Stokes fumbles. That's been the story of the day for the Eagles. They fumbled early in the first term. Dogs hit them with everything except the kitchen sink, and they've been blown away.
At three-quarter time, top 11 ball getters on the ground are all Doggies, led by James Gowans with 25, Marco Bello and Nathan Steinburn with 23. Steinburn had 12 in the third quarter, and Chris Gowans with 19. Matthew Stokes, best for Eagles, with 11.
Thanks, Ian Mogridge. Curry just paddles away to Stewie Cochran. Good story today for Stewie Cochran. Missed out on the premiership side in Port Adelaide Power in the AFL. He wins a flag, but not perhaps where he would really have wanted to. Played most of the games this year for the Power. Slade boots it forward. Shirley at full stretch. Running onto it, James Gowans. Oh, guess who? Guess who's running onto it inside 50? Chris Gowans spears a left footer, and he has been off target today and just says, I just can't buy a goal at the minute.
Yeah, he's desperate to kick one too. You can see the disappointment in his face, but in the end, it's not going to have a great impact on the win-loss today.
Well, you wouldn't have thought so, would you? As Eagles take their time bringing it in, looking for Passador. And Chris Gowans, or James rather, puts the pressure on from behind, just gets it out of bounds. Just on the edge of the defensive 50 for the Eagles. Cowan will be penalised for taking O'Hara down, so quickly off to Stokes. Stokes down to centre wing. Schooler from behind, just couldn't get the hands around the ball. Hay couldn't get it either. Wise broke through. He's tried hard this afternoon, Wise. Freeborn. Williams got the ball about 20 centimetres forward. The Dogs working at the back. Curry couldn't get an effective disposal. Stuart Cochran. Down the line he goes. Ware just goes down the line again. That's discipline. In a grand final where you're leading by 93 points, and to take that option, Elijah Ware, nothing fancy, just down the line.
What the coach asked for at three-quarter time, wasn't it, Neil? Roy Laird just said, boys, just stick to the discipline. I don't want anybody getting reported when we're so far in front and missing games next year.
That'd be just right for Centrals too. They'd already be planning, well, how are we going to win next year's premiership? Rugolo taken to ground. Somehow they spread the ball out to Westbrook. He's in trouble. Missed his target. Chris Gowans, one-hand pick-up. Thought left or right foot. Oh, OK, I'll use my right. Here's Slade inside 50. Shell on the lead. And the skills of the Centrals midfielders again on display there. Daniel Shell with the mark. He's looking for a pass. He doesn't want to be looking at the video tonight saying, oh, it's a bit selfish then.
What a great kick by Slade. Just accelerated away and then dropped it right into the path of Shell. Brilliant.
Shell taking his time. He's got 2 this afternoon, the spearhead. Starts it out to the right, and it goes well left, and through for a minor score. Look, Shell looks like he's just fallen the wrong way, perhaps, as he's taken this mark. He just maybe jarred the back.
He just pulled up a little lame, but I think he'd want to see it the game, wouldn't he?
It's a very unselfish day at full forward. 8 kicks and 7 handballs.
Has been terrific for them, and all played well, I reckon.
Yeah.
Ware just cops it around the neck from Treby's going from Ellis. So Elijah Ware, wobbly old kick will be good enough to find Shell, who seems to have recovered okay. Short kick and marked by, let's have a look, turn around. Chris Gowans.
Yeah, this is his chance. Just a few today. You want to get this one.
3 behinds. Tim, he's booted 30 goals, 21 for the year before today. Averages 20 possessions per match. An outstanding midfielder. What a terrific pickups they've been, the Central District Football Club. He's not going to have a shot. Let's kick it to Daniel Shell, who slipped at the crucial moment. I'm not sure they'll worry about it too much. I think they want to try and get 100 points up in this grand final. They're only one straight kick away from doing just that.
Shell just showing us how he slipped. And that was a certain goal. He had been able to stand his feet.
Well, you can see the funny side of it when you're 94 points in front. I'm not sure whether you'd see the funny side of it. There were 3 points the difference. Lovely shot from the outer wing on Football Park. ABC Television bringing you the 2004 SANFL Grand Final. Elijah Ware with a problem, like a hamstring. To take half a dozen of them off at the moment, not replace them. Oh, just pulled up.
Yeah, that's a slight hammy, so it might be worth coming off before you do complete damage.
Shirley for the Eagles kicks it inside 50, but Hearn just clears the area with a good kick. And a boundary throw in will ensue. 121 plays 27. I tell you what, if you had a bet on the footy today, I don't think you'd quite get that right. 24,207 people here at Football Park for the 2004 Grand Final.
Colville, well, he tried to do as the umpire asked, and eventually he was able to. He got it out, and there's another free kick, and it'll be a Dogs free kick. Stuart Cochrane playing with his brother in a game of league football for just the 2nd time this afternoon. Stuart Cochrane.
Richard 9-4, Stuart 9-6 after he kicks this.
Why not kick it?
I'm back in.
That was a sure bet. Stokes from behind, couldn't take the mark. Lindsay, solid, just picked it up. Williams on the left foot. Hay will take the mark in defence. They'll look immediately to spring it to the far side of the ground. I'll go half measures. Happy with that to Thomas, then to Curry. Through half forward, Bello, he's loose. He can go inside 50, straighten on the left foot. Marco Bello, best on ground for mine. Great finish by Bello, great finish by the Dogs.
Well, what a superb finish that was. Absolutely brilliant. Brings up the 100-point margin. Curry good vision out the back here, but Bello's been instrumental in a lot of the first half goals. At last he gets one for himself, and he really did deserve that. He's ecstatic with it. And you can't help but think that he might be up on the dice twice.
13 kicks, 11 handballs.
Outstanding, the boy from Box Hill. Dogs go forward again. Inside their attacking 50 is where the game's been played. Stokes, short kick, Sikalala, who had his number taken in the 3rd term and gets the mandatory boos from the crowd. He kicks to half forward. Westbrook at the back, just had to knock it down. Wise has been ineffective today. He's just second guessed the footy and had a fumble or two. Daniel Wise just only played a couple of league games this year, Tim, and coming into a grand final. Big ask for Daniel Wise. Schooler knocked it down. Slade tackled by Freeborn. The 2004 Magarey medalist, Paul Thomas. There's that boundary umpire getting in the way again. Taken by James Gowans. As Pedlar slipped, Cowan dropped the mark and Bello fell over. Comedy of errors. Pedlar got through. Away to Wise. Uses Pedlar, who kicks to half forward to McKenzie for a rare touch. Wouldn't have had 10 yet, Moggy. Mark McKenzie.
This will be number 10.
And double figures for Mark McKenzie. About 15 lower than his average. Inside 50. Hearn at the back. Cool head for a young man. To Hay. Had it spent. Tried to go, didn't have it. Colville taken down by Cochrane, and the umpire blew his whistle quickly there. I thought maybe a free kick to the skipper of the Eagles, Gavin Colville, but a ball up.
It's getting dark up here, Michael. That was actually number 7 for McKenzie.
It's a rare mistake.
No matter if he'd had 10, he's still been quiet. Sikalala doing his best. Too long, said the umpire. Play on. Off go the Dogs. Thomas forward of the play, takes a bounce, Stokes is gaining. Thomas is good enough just to settle, get his kick. Cowan's on the end of it. In the middle is Chris Gowans. He goes that way with the left-handed hand pass. Chris Gowans has options. He couldn't get it away. They fight on the Dogs. Pedlar just knocks it into space. Viacci was good. Stokes down to half forward. McKenzie trying to get to that, desperately to get to that number 10 position. McKenzie plays on, goes long. O'Hara the target. Westbrook from the side. Sibinala got a hand in this. So did Arnott off the ground. They share it again. Off to Hyde.
First kick. He's had 7 handballs.
Here's Rob Shirley. Played the first 6 games of the season, then was taken by Adelaide and has been back for the finals. Brad Curry in defence. There's another one in his element in this game. Played just 9 games for the season, including this one, Brad Curry. Steinberner, his kick into space was good. On the end of it, Chris Gowans can go short. Healy on the lead. In fact, it's Shell that they go to at the end. Whatever problem he had with his back seems to have healed itself. But he had 2 options then. Chris Gowans, when he turned around, Healy and Shell both leading from the square. It was just a case of which one do I choose.
Shell, your mandatory fall forward. We've had the first tackle.
Daniel Shell with 2 this afternoon. Starts it out, and it's going to fade away to the left for the minor score. Soda's on the boundary with former Glenelg coach Brenton Honor.
Well, Brenton, to say it's one-sided or a dominant performance is really an understatement today.
Oh, it's just devastating for the Eagles. You've got to feel sorry for the players and the coaches and the supporters. They like really big and a huge chance to beat them. Not just they haven't looked like it, have they?
The only doubt we had over Central coming into the game was that it was only the 3rd game in 6 weeks and they could be a little bit underdone, but being fresh obviously has worked their way.
Yeah, it has, but you know, the Eagles have had all the preparation. They've had all the form and the perfect build-up, you would think, but they haven't looked like it.
Thanks, Brenton. Sit back and enjoy and watch them win.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Brenton Honor, former coach of Glenelg. McKenzie in best position on the wing. Centrals maybe on target for the biggest grand final victory in history. Shirley takes the mark at half-back. That was achieved in 1952. Winning margin 108 points when North beat Norwood. Sikalala at half-back. Passador to McKenzie. Getting close to that 10. The game's all over. Picking up possessions and needed them in the first half. No one can take the mark. Ball to ground. Rugolo there. Hasn't had an impact today, Vinny. Hasn't found any space at all, Tim. And the forward line has just been, well, it's just malfunctioned, basically. Not enough supply.
Inside 50, 55 Centrals, 25 Eagles. It's any wonder they haven't had much of a chance.
Here's Freeborn. Kick smothered. Got it back again. And missed. everything. Kicking's not the best part of Scott Freeborn's game. And just proved it then. Should have nailed that one. Arnott. Game being played in slow motion at the moment. Healy enjoying a run upfield. Kicks it long. Richard Cochran and Fiachi. Steinberner has worried the life out of them with his pace today. James Gowan's running inside 50. Well done, Shirley. Provided the contest and was cool and picked out Mackenzie. Mackenzie's got a man in Passador on the wing. In short, looking for Filippo, who has had a dirty day like many of his teammates. Just lays on the ball. Umpire, which way will he see it? Well, I think he saw it correctly. Sam Filippo making no attempt to knock that ball out.
Sam Filippo kicked 2 goals in the 1993 Premiership victory by the Eagles. He's kicked 1 this afternoon. And Roy Laird already quite prepared to celebrate, as you can see. And I guess if he turns around, we will see a smile on Roy Laird's face, probably for the first time this season. A very intense man and very successful. He'll become the first Dogs coach to win consecutive premierships.
Yeah, true, because Peter Jonas started it, Alistair Clarkson, and now Roy Laird with 2.
Here's Lindsay and Kapunda's own Mackenzie just hacks it forward with a hand pass into space and over the line. 101 points the margin. Roy Laird saying to Luke Cowan, what did you think?
What do you reckon, Luke? Take over for me. Do it at coaching.
Made some changes. Ball back in and Slade comes from behind. He's been quiet today. Slade, he was runner-up in the Magarey medal. Matthew Stokes bouncing his way down towards half-forward. The kick looking for Ellis, didn't get that far. Chipping in at the front was Passador. And Passador will line up. He's kicked 9 straight in the final series. Mark Passador.
Just the Eagles' 3rd mark inside 50 today. Centrals have taken 18.
Just pull out so many statistics that this afternoon don't lie. That's just one of them as Passador lines up across the goals, and a mark nicely taken over the top by Westbrook. So, in another week's time or so, David Westbrook will be involved in the AFL draft screening here in Adelaide. Some instructions coming from the umpire as the 19-year-old lines up. That's the angle to work with, and as is typical of the afternoon for the Eagles, Westbrook hits the post. They've scored just 1 goal since half-time, the Eagles.
Long kick out, finds Steinberner. Look at him go. He's a racehorse, Nathan Steinberner.
27 possessions.
And he kicks a spear to Shell. Well, 108 points is the mark to beat in a grand final. With a straight kick here from Daniel Shell, within 2 points. That record has stood since 1952.
Steinberner's been superb as well. How about Bello, Haig, James Gowan, Steinberner, Chris Gowans?
I think Steinberner, for me, he's been a 4-quarter performer. Bello's just faded out of the game a bit. Shell has missed to the near side.
Michael, pretty confident Central District's outfit out here. We just heard that the screen printers went to work at 24-minute mark of the second quarter, printing up the Premiership T-shirts. So they're pretty happy here. They've got them down here. They've got their hats, and they're just about to pass them all out to the boys on the bench.
Raucous laughter down there from Roy Laird. What's going on?
Oh, he's happy, isn't he? We haven't seen him smile all year. He's an intense man. But right at the moment, we're at, what, the 18.5-minute mark of the grand finals. Oh. Paul Thomas slots an absolute ripper, and he's a happy man.
Oh, dear. Can it get any better for the Dogs? magnificent. 5 grand finals for 4 victories and 7 grand finals in the past 10 seasons.
That is amazing. And what a finish this has been. 107 points in front. They look like they might take the all-time SNFL record, win by a record margin, held since 1952 by the North Adelaide Footy Club.
And that margin of 108, Tim, is a record for any final, not just a grand final.
They need another point. They have a point to prove. Westbrook finds Passador, who can't hold on to it. Treeby, just a handball in frustration. Lindsay ends up on the end of it. Just a lazy kick. They've had the life knocked out of them. Filippo just goes to ground. Falls to Gowans. To Bello. On the wing. Just using his non-preferred, Cochrane and Wise. Let's go down to Mark Soderstrom. Yes, Soders.
Thanks, boys. Now, Heath Hopwood, you've probably been the highest paid spectator at the game today. What happened in the second term?
Oh, I guess I got hit a bit high and a bit dizzy, I guess, and didn't come through the interchange gates the way you're supposed to, and can't go back on.
Fortunately for you, it's been a huge win, and not over yet. 10 minutes to go. You can sit back and enjoy it. The 4th flag. Does it get any sweeter after 3?
No, definitely. I didn't think it'd be as good the 4th time around, but I'll tell you what, it's better.
What's on the cards tonight?
Back to the club. Hopefully all the supporters get back there as well, and really enjoy the whole club's success.
Poppy, I'm a bit disappointed. I put 20 bucks on you before the game to win the Jack Odie, and you've got absolutely no chance now. Well done, mate. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, Sodas.
Keep your money in your pocket, Sodas. Off to Hyde. To Steinburner, who's got an absolute paddock out there. He can fumble, he can muck around the football, he can do anything. Just gets around Freeborn. Off to Hyde, just runs forward. They lead by 107 points, the Doggies. Chris Gowans gets a kind bounce. Ducks it back inboard to Healy. Now Healy from 50, loads up a long kick. Schooler's there. Oh, lovely mark over the back's been taken by Shell. Daniel Shell. Just had a day out, along with 20 of his mates. And this kick, if they can maintain it, will create a record. They'll go 113 points in front. Daniel Shell, point-blank range, drives it home. Well, they can't celebrate anymore, surely. Daniel Shell, Fucci's 4th, and Doggies fans will have been celebrating since half-time. Realistically, this will be the longest party in history.
I'll give them another goal to aim at, and that would be for the highest score in the grand final. 24-15, 159 Sturt in 1969 when they beat the Bays.
Well, they won't get that.
They're a little bit short of it, Boggy, aren't they? But who knows, these Dogs, they are very, very good. Andrew Rogers must be absolutely shattered along with all the Eagles fans. Andrew, it's been a very, very disappointing day, and that is perhaps the understatement of the day.
Yes, it certainly is, Neil. Very disappointing for the club. They really built into today. It's been a 3 or 4 year process. Just really haven't performed on the day.
Ball down for the Eagles inside their forward 50. Off the Hyde comes and meets it. Hay peels off. He'll be the next man in line. Looks up forward, coming on the lead, Cochrane. That's Richie Cochrane. And Cochrane pulls in a one-hander. Just hugged that to his hip, I think. And it's just been, well, it's been a dog day afternoon, hasn't it? Certainly for the Eagles it has been. Here's O'Hara taking the mark and just outside the defensive 50. Joey Pedler yelling to him on this side of the ground. He ignores that. Goes longer. 2-on-2 from behind Stuart Cochrane. Knocks it away from Passador to Richard Cochrane. Now McKenzie shares it with Stuart Cochrane. All the skills, the big man. Off to Chris Gowans. The noise is unbelievable. The Dogs fans have come out in force. They're lining up on this side of the ground. Here's Arnott. Arnott to Thomas. Thomas can go by hand or foot over the top to Gowans in space. He opts to hold on to it. And I reckon the distance might worry him. And in the end, he does go short to Gowans. And almost certainly James Gowans is wanting to just pinpoint a pass, you would think, inside that forward 50.
You're looking for brother Chris because he hasn't kicked one yet, so...
Just look at McKenzie coming off the ground, and there's the pass that was always on, and Daniel Shell leading out, and it must be so hard if you're an Eagles defender to work up the enthusiasm to actually run somebody down when they go on a lead. And Daniel Shell now will line up for his 4th goal of the afternoon to extend the margin just that little bit further. Stands at 113 points.
That was James Gowan's 30th possession, and this is Shell's 11th mark and 20th possession.
James Gowan very much in line for his 2nd Jack Oatey medal for best on ground, but I still favour Marco Bello. He set it all up with a brilliant first half. Daniel Shell finishes with a goal. And we're just about to the 25-minute mark. And as if the whole last quarter has not been a party, certainly the next 5 minutes will be for those Dogs.
What a performance by the Bulldogs. Daniel Shell. There's Roy Laird. It's in autopilot at the moment. Probably been in autopilot since early in the last term. Just switch off all the controls and just let them run. Cowan into the ruck. Smashes it forward. Treeby to Shirley. Hay, outstanding defender today. Arnott has continued to link up. Healy's booted 4 goals. 5 goals, I should say. Long kick. Here comes Tyson Hay. Kicked the lovely running goal in the first half. Can he do it again? Ellis takes the mark. He's disappointed. Short kick out to O'Hara. You've got to say O'Hara's just kept at it all day. Uses Pedler. On a long lead is Stokes. Oh, cruel bounce. Hearn over the top. Doesn't mean the Eagles' day. Thomas will boot it inside 50. Healy's there. Couldn't take the mark. Wouldn't surprise me to spin on the sixpence and kick a goal. Marco Bello, standing start. Kicks it long. Shell. And the Dogs are home. Back to back. For Central District. A massive win at Football Park. Central District are premiers in 2004. And look at them celebrate. The Doggy chant goes up in front of 24,207 fans. Roy Laird being congratulated by all and sundry. Hasn't got enough hands down there, Neil Cross.
No, plenty of back slappers.
Well, mate, Roy Laird, great effort. The second one tastes sweet.
Oh, I tell you, it's unbelievable, like these blokes. I cannot explain the pride and how privileged I feel to be involved with them. It's an outstanding group of people.
Been a tough season, plenty of injuries during the year with Healy, Arnott and a few others. Just come together well at the right time.
Yeah, it has. Look, I said to them a while ago, they were almost worried they weren't playing 8 weeks ago, but it's all come to a head.
Well done, mate. Enjoy it.
Mark Soderstrom doing his best to slow down Roy Laird as he makes his way to his jubilant players. Didn't have to do much coaching in the end this afternoon, as you mentioned, Michael. He probably was able to switch off certainly midway through the third quarter. And that is the Dogs' 4th premiership in 5 years. It's the consecutive flags, of course, for the second time, 2000, 2001, and again in 2003 and 2004. Roy Laird's the first Centrals coach to get 2 flags in a row. And it's their 7th grand final in 10 seasons. They are the dominant club in the SANFL.
And a record too, Neil, that standing since 1952, 100 points when North Adelaide beat Norwood. They have broken a record. What an outstanding football club they have become. Once the whipping boys of the competition, now the pace setters in this competition and the club that everyone else aspires to be anywhere near like.
It's taken them 40 years
but they have really climbed to the top of the SANFL. And as you can see, fourth time's a charm. I don't think they've got any problems in celebrating. I think they'll be partying well and truly into the night out at Central District. The day did actually start so well for the Eagles with their reserves getting up by 56 points over South Adelaide, and they were the outsiders in that game. But in the main game, the grand final, well, Central's led by 23 at quarter time, 50 at half time, extended that to 92 points at the final change of ends. And it'll be a disconsolate Eagles who will look up at that record margin of 125 points at the final siren. And how appropriate, Daniel Schell with about 0.3 of a second putting the ball through for his fifth of the afternoon. He kicked, in fact, the last three Central's goals. Down to Andrew Rogers, who has another celebrating dog.
Well, I've got the victorious captain here in Daniel Healy. Look, Daniel, it must be a privilege to lead this team.
Yeah, I mean, I stepped out of the role all year when I injured, and Hoppy did the job, and could be any one of us. That's the advantage of this side. They've got so many great leaders amongst them, and it's really only just the name because everyone's a leader out there.
And you couldn't have envisaged how easy it was today.
No, I mean, you say it's easy, and obviously we worked very hard, but I just think our preparation and credit to our coaching staff was second to none, and everything came off, which doesn't always happen, but we were just so well prepared for this game, and yeah, it's fantastic.
And just an injury hit you, only your fifth game for the year. You must be really pinching yourself.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's been so frustrating, but in 5 years, I remember that I won a flag, probably not that I've only played 5 games, so I'm pumped.
Well done, Daniel. Congratulations, and enjoy the victory.
Thanks, Andrew.
Final siren there. And Heath Hopwood, who sat most of the game on the bench as a result of a mistake in the interchange area. The first to congratulate Roy Laird and Paul Thomas, sharing a bond with Roy Laird. Together, Paul Thomas, Roy Laird and Richard Cochrane have won 3 premierships in a row. Roy Laird was in charge of the reserves in 2002 when Paul Thomas and Richard Cochrane were in that side. And then, of course, the last 2 years, the league premiership. And we saw there Vinnie Rugolo and the Eagles very disconsolate. And they will have to learn some very, very sad lessons from this afternoon. And that sign says it all. Roy Laird being congratulated, and Central's are #1. And it's his second loss in a grand final for that man, Ron Fuller. The longest serving coach in the SANFL. He's in his 4th year. He's got a record now of 58 wins and 34 losses, and this would be perhaps the worst loss. As Sodas, you're down there, and you've somewhere in the bunch, you've got another victorious
I
doggy.
have, Neil. You just spoke about Paul Thomas. He's won 3 in a row, including the 2's grand final. McGarry medal, mate. How sweet is your life at the moment?
Yeah, very, very, very sweet. Very lucky to be involved with this club in such a time where we're so successful. And you just see all the boys are reaping all the hard work that we put in all the time.
It must have been beautiful to spend the last quarter knowing that you had it in the bag. You could actually sit back and soak it up.
Yeah, sit back and soak it up, but still win the footy. You know, Laddie told us at 3/4 time, games are won in 4 quarters, and that's what we did. And like as you saw, we managed to pile on a few more goals late, and that's just what these boys do. They run, run, run.
You guys have missed a little bit of footy over the past few weeks, winning and having the time off. A lot of talk was the Eagles would be too hard, but just the 2 weeks ago, that win by a couple of points just got you back ready to really destroy them today.
Yeah, look, they obviously, like Ron Fuller said, they would have probably liked to have a week off, and we would have liked to have another game. So there was positives and negatives for both sides, but just our boys just worked real hard at training, and you saw it today.
Well done, mate. Enjoy it. Make the most of it.
Thanks very much.
Over to Timmy Geneva with the presentations.
Ladies and gentlemen, with an SANFL record-winning margin of 125 points, I hand you the 2004 SANFL Premiers, the Dogs. A superb performance by all and sundry. But on this very special day, we do have a very special award for one individual. I've got up here Mary Odie, the wife of the late Jack Odie, champion of the game, coached 10 premierships, and for the player for best on ground in this particular game, gets the Jack Odie medal. And today, it's been won by Nathan Steinberner.
commiserations to Eagles. Just wasn't their day today. But how about our guys? They were awesome, mate. Thanks a lot. Cheers. Thanks to all our supporters.
Now I'd like to introduce to the stage a member of the SANFL Football Hall of Fame and the AFL Hall of Fame. Played 125 games for Sturt, 20 matches for South Australia, a triple Magarey medalist. Will you please welcome Mr. Len Fitzgerald. He will now be presenting the medals, the premiership medals to each and every player of the Central District Football Club. Starting with jumper number 2, Tyson Hay. Number 7, Marco Bello. Number 9, Richard Cochran. His brother, number 10, Stuart Cochran. Number 14, going to see a lot of this boy, Shannon Hearn. The Magarey medalist, number 16, Paul Thomas. Number 18, Jason McKenzie. Number 21, Chris Gowans.
Thanks a lot. Excellent. Thanks. What's on your end? Next year, eh? Thanks, Case. Excellent. He's a big guy.
Number 26, Luke Cowan. Number 27, Daniel Shell.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Number 28, James Gowans.
Thanks, Lee. Great man. Thank you very much. No way. Great done. Maybe next year, eh?
Number 33, Paul Schooler.
Thanks, mate. Thanks, guys. Yeah, it's a good goal, too. Thanks, guys.
Number 34, the Jack Odie medalist, Nathan Steinburner.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Number 37, Yves Sibanala. This down last year, but not this year. Jeremy Optahide, number 41. Number 42, Simon Arnott. Your vice captain, might not remember it, Heath Hopwood. Come on up, mate.
Give you a copy of the tape, mate.
Number 48, Bradley Curry. Number 50, Elijah Ware. Number 59, Matthew Slade. Now for your captain, number 51, Daniel Healy.
Thanks, guys.
And now your back-to-back coach, Roy Laird.
A little bit of it might have passed on.
Now just like to ask the President of the South Australian National Football League, Mr Rod Pays, to present the Thomas Seymour Hill Trophy to the winning coach and captain.
Getting out the way.
Well, there's the Eagles, very disconsolate, no doubt, leaving the ground. And the Doggies, well, they certainly know how to have a party out at Elizabeth, and there's no doubt they will be partying tonight. And you can expect there'll be a family fun day tomorrow, and all the players will be out there at lunchtime again to continue in their celebrations
Would you like to hear
for
from your
their
captain,
second
Daniel Healy?
victory in a row. And here's Daniel Healy, as you heard, to speak.
I got in trouble last year for talking too long, so I'll make this brief. I want to make mention of the Eagles. They've been a great side all year. Didn't happen for them today, but thanks for the season. To two people, Matt Krieg and Adam Twitala, who are real stiff not to be out here today. They're just as much a part of that. We want to see them back there tonight. Thanks, boys. We've got a great support group in this club. Trainers, coaches, admin, board members. But I want to make special mention of our family and girlfriends and wives who are fantastic support all year in this. We love celebrating this with you, and I want to make special mention of my wife who's home with our newborn baby today. Thanks a lot, Joe.
First of all, I said it shortly after the game, I consider myself so privileged to be involved with these players and this football club as a whole. To be involved the last 5 years, I'm sure as supporters, everyone would speak highly of the fact that we're setting a standard, one which we want to continue to live up to. Thanks to everyone involved, officials, sponsors, and also people at Craigie, Switty for missing out. You blokes have been valuable during the year. And to all the other players who've played their role, fantastic work. I'm sure we'll enjoy this for a while. Thank you.
All right, boys, you can do a lap of honour. Off you go.
Yes, well, they'll have the obligatory photos taken firstly, and I guess they know the whole routine, don't they? They've had 5 grand finals in a row and 4 premierships from those 5 starts in grand finals. The Dogs know all about winning. And as you can see there, a couple of them can't count. Or maybe a couple of them only played in 2 premierships. Or 1. And some of them played in 4, as we can see there. So they very much will enjoy their afternoon. 125-point victory over the Eagles, a record score, record margin at least, in a grand final in SANFL football, making the record that stood since 1952. North beat Westies. This afternoon, it's been a dog day. Paul Thomas there with the cup, completing 3 titles, leading goal kicker, the Doggies, with Daniel Schell, Magarey medalist in Paul Thomas, and of course the premiership. Might as well throw in a 4th title as well with Nathan Steinburner, voted best on ground. Daniel Schell, and the wives and girlfriends who were mentioned by Daniel Healy as being so important. Almost lost one there, I think. And that almost went over the edge. Daniel Schell making sure the wives and girlfriend know they're appreciated. So they'll go through an entire lap of honour, which could take some time, because these are the moments, no doubt, the players talk about as being the most important and most treasured memories, and they go far too quickly.
Good to see Stewie Dew there too, Neil. He's on the boundary, played a couple of games for them this year. There's Paul Thomas. Stewie Dew in the celebrations.
And Stewie Dew very much, he's been a premiership player in the past and played, of course, in Port Adelaide's premiership last week in the AFL. And they mentioned some of the players who missed out: Matt Krieg, Adam Switala, Quinton Graham, who cut his hand just a few weeks ago and unable, because of tendon problems, to be able to take his place in the lineup will be considered. Brian Herrera, he retired mid-year after 6 games with the club this season, the veteran. So there's a lot of players who are not fortunate enough to be out there. And of course, all these players, Elijah Ware, Tyson Hay, 2 of them, very fortunate to be out there. Tyson Hay, if my memory serves me correct, Ian Mogridge will help me. He has played in each one of their premierships, and I think, in fact, there would be 7, I think it is, I counted 6 or 7, 4-time premiership players now.
I think you're right. I think there are 7.
Just to back up Moggy. Moggy, look, while we're going through, as we see there, just the Gowans boys consoling Adam Switala on the fact that he's missed out today.
Doesn't help when you win by 125 points.
Yes, and it doesn't help when you know that Heath Hopwood virtually didn't take part after quarter time. Moggy, I might get you to go through a few of the stat winners as we see them on screen. Daniel Schell, for instance, there with 5 goals.
Yeah, he was sensational. 11 marks, 14 kicks and 7 handballs, and those are 6 goals actually, Neil. The one right on the siren.
Was his 6th, was it?
Yep.
Oh, well, there you go. So I got caught up in the stats.
I'll tell you what, I was struggling at the end too, Neil, don't you worry. I think I missed the last 3 goals in the euphoria of what was going on. The Bulldogs doing a walk of honour, you would say. A lot of the boots off. The fans, their loyal fans, have been outstanding over the years. Nathan Steinburner, what a magnificent performance by him, and as Neil Cross said, Marco Bello, extremely unlucky not to win the Jack Oatey medal. He set it all up for them. He get 19 possessions before half-time.
That's right, he had 18 at half-time, ended up with 26. Nathan Steinburner had 28 and kicked 2 goals as well.
And Simon Arnott, another player who got a lot of possessions in the first half.
He ended up with 22 and evenly distributed in the halves.
And Richard Cochrane and Stuart Cochrane playing just their 2nd game of league football together and winning the premiership this afternoon. It's not a bad record.
It's been a year for the brothers, hasn't it, with the Burgoyne boys for the Power and the Corns boys, and now the Cochrane boys at Central. So outstanding year by this brilliant team who were challenged a little bit early in the season and went on to win the grand final by 125 points.
Nathan Steinberner with that second medal around his neck, as does Paul Thomas. He's been best on ground in the Anzac Day rematches of the grand finals twice. And he's also the McGarry medalist. They're a happy bunch, aren't they? Tim, you'd remember this, wouldn't you? You're looking now, and we can talk about next year now. This is your farewell to commentary for the moment as you take up the reins at Port Adelaide along with Jack Cale. And you'll be looking to do this sort of thing next year. Or maybe you don't have that high a goal first up.
Well, I think you've always got to set your season that you want to win a premiership, otherwise there's no point in going out and competing, and that's what you're after, that cup. And the Dogs hold it rightfully so. It's the best team in the competition in 2004, and superb performance by all round. I mean, they were just magnificent. I spoke to the Gowans boys on the dice, and they said, "What do you think we won?" I said, "Well, it's you blokes in the middle. You just absolutely slaughtered it, you know." And then off you went from there, and they're going to enjoy themselves quite immensely tonight.
Well, they're still yet to lose a grand final when leading at half or three-quarter time. Marco Bello, as we said, set it up. We didn't give the stats for Marco.
Marco had 15 kicks and 11 handballs.
And overall, the stats, as you can see, the Doggies just singing their, I reckon this will be their club song in front of their loyal band of supporters out there behind the goals at the southern end of the ground. They're just about ready to start, I think. Just waiting for everybody to get in line before they start up. Fortunately, the PA is actually drowning out their attempts to sing this song. But I don't think anybody minds too much. They've actually won their past 9 games in a row. The last time they lost, round 14, to the Eagles.
That's amazing, isn't it? It's quite a superb performance. It's domination of the competition, isn't it? And to win by a record margin, 125 points, they really blew the game out. I mean, the Eagles challenged late the first term to get back within 23. And I thought even early in the second term they might make a fist of it, but from about the halfway mark of that second term, Central's just powered away, ended up with a 50-point lead at half-time, and you said the game was shot. And then it just went further and further. And there's Stephen Pitt, the ex-Norwood player, in uniform and having a chat with one of the Gowans lads.
He'd be looking to lock him up, wouldn't you?
Might run into him a bit later in the night.
You never know.
They're well-behaved boys, very disciplined.
Oh, yes. I'm sure Pitty wouldn't want to be stationed out at Elizabeth tonight.
I tell you what, it'll be a great night out there, and they deserve it. They've been superb all year. They keep a structure and a standard that they want to stick to, and that's fair enough. It's up to the others to challenge now.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you know, this season we had Sturt and the Eagles who were able to challenge at different times, but just not able to get enough consistent challenge. And somewhere in that ruck down there, I just saw Sodas in the background, and I can just see the bridge of a cap that he's intending to talk to. Sodas.
Thanks, Neil. I have Jeremy off the high with me. Jeremy, you made your debut a few years ago. You've been at the club. They've won 3. Must be nice to be able to taste it yourself.
Oh, yeah, mate. Unbelievable. After last year especially. Yeah, I know what it feels like losing one. I broke down last year. Must admit I broke down again this year, but geez, it feels a hell of a lot better.
You can break down as much as you like, mate. You're a premiership player. The Eagles, well, all year it was tough, wasn't it, between both of your sides, and just on this stage today, you were able to blow them away.
Yeah, unbelievable. Well, no one certainly expected that. And just credit goes to the midfield and the ruckman, I suppose, forward line players on, and luckily enough didn't see a hell of a lot of it today, but that's the way I like it.
Good on you, mate. You go and enjoy it.
I will. Thank you.
Jeremy off the height, yes, just breaking down. That's the look at the Eagles' rooms, and Ronnie Fuller. Maybe the players are in there, maybe they're not. Ronnie Fuller just, well, he'd be just so disappointed.
Your heart goes out to him, Neil. I mean, it's so hard, isn't it? You're sitting there in the box, and you know, what can you do over a game like that? That is just complete demolition of everything you might have put in place beforehand. The Dogs just destroyed everything.
Well, the only record I think that didn't fall today to the Dogs was the lowest score by an opposition team, and I think that was in 1989, 1-8-14 from memory, when your side, the Magpies, absolutely decimated North Adelaide. But I tell you what, I don't think that'd make the Eagles feel any better.
Oh, not at this stage. That's just Just a really staggering day. Nobody picked it. Everybody thought there was going to be a really good contest here today. Even Central's fans I spoke to coming into the ground thought, oh, it's going to be tight and hard and we might get up towards the end. You never know, like the second semi. Only 2 points in that. Who would have thought 125-point victors at the end of this game.
Eve Sibanela of the Doggies celebrating the win. Jeremy Ofterhide and Eve Sibanela, the sort of no-names, if you like, backline that they've been able to structure up.
Well, Eves came in last year when Jeremy Ofterhide did a quad in training during the week and unfortunately couldn't come up for the game. And last year missed out on a premiership, but not this time. Both of them played together and played very well.
And we'll just have a look through, just a reminder for those of you who may have just joined us, you've missed this. 6 goals to 2 at quarter time and a 23-point margin, 50 points at half-time, 92 at three-quarter time, and then home by 125 points. It was that easy for the Dogs.
Just a superb four-quarter performance, isn't it? 6 goals, 5 goals, 7 goals, 5 goals, just outstanding. Just kept at it, never took the foot off the pedal, and superb performance. Daniel Shell with 6, Healy with 5, they were outstanding. Shell probably missed a few, I reckon he got a few behinds as well. 6-3 for the day. Cowan with a couple, Steinburner, the Jack Odey medalist, Arnott with a couple as well, just superb. Hay with 1. And for the Eagles, well, just a 4. Treeby, Passador, Philippone, Chickalao.
1 goal, 1 after half-time.
Look at that domination inside 50, 62 to 28. Just completely just got that much football inside 50. It was always going to happen.
And you're talking about the most efficient side in the league as well.
They certainly are, and they use it by hand and foot, the best that is going around in the SNFL.
So the victorious Dogs, Marco Bella leading the way as they go around and shake the hand of just about every supporter in this stadium.
They're fired up, but on the stand it was very interesting, Neil. You know, I had probably at least 8 of them say to me, looking forward to next year, Timmy, looking forward to next year. It was like they're wanting a challenge. They want to go head on. They want to have a big challenge.
Well, maybe the challenge will be provided by Port Adelaide. In 1995 and 1996, they lost 2 grand finals to Port Adelaide, and I reckon that they would be looking to get Port Adelaide. Maybe they're looking to you.
Well, let's hope we're good enough to give them a challenge and make sure that we're up there to do that. But they are setting the stand at the moment. We've got to be a part of it.
All right, thanks for your company throughout the season. Thanks to Tim, to Mark Soderstrom, Andrew Rogers and Michael Maney, Paul Chadwick and Deb Lloyd down there on the truck running things, and to all the ABC crew. 125-point victory for Central District. Goodbye for season 2004.